Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived.
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan. How was your Christmas day? It was just yesterday. We're a bit early, so how's your Christmas day?
Yeah, it was all right. I got Eggshells by the New Japan commentator Chris Charlton. I got that book, which is timely because the Tokyo Dome might be coming down. Um, I told my mom like weeks ago. I was like, oh yeah, there are a few books by like this guy named Chris Charlton that I'd be interested in, or like the Moxley book or whatever. And she saw the word Tokyo in in one of them. She's like, oh, he'll probably like that because he's a weeb. So she got me she got me the Tokyo Dome one. So yeah, I got that, and I got a new chair for my desk. Which for if you guys didn't know, I've been sitting in like a folding chair for the past like 2 years. It is very painful. I broke one because my ass is too fat, I guess. Um, and so yeah, I got a like actual gaming chair that like I can be comfy in, so that's nice. And yeah, I had a good Christmas day. A lot of it was surrounding my niece who got 17 million presents. Um, so many that she couldn't even open them all at once because she has the smallest attention span ever. She's like, nah, I got my Legos and I got my Winnie the Pooh plushie. I'm good. I don't gotta touch the other ones. I don't know. I don't care what the fuck those are. Um, but yeah, I had a good Christmas day. It was all right. It was all right.
All right, that's good. That's good. Do you usually Christmassy? Are you a Christmassy guy?
I am. Not as much this year because I again, as a lot of you know, I'm not home. Because like my home is in Chicago, but my family moved to Colorado for a couple years. And this is the first Christmas I've had in Colorado because I've usually gone home for Christmas.
Right.
Um, so this year's been a bit hard to get into the spirit, you know, because like usually I'm a very family Christmassy guy. And my friends are very Christmassy and all that shit. So it was a bit harder this year, but you know, like next year it'll be spick and span.
You're going to Chicago.
Yeah, I'm moving back by next
Really?
year.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay. All
yeah.
right.
So I'll be home for the holidays. Luckily.
Wow, that's cool. All right. Well, that's good. Um, this show is brought to you by the Five Star Network. Head on over to fivestarnetwork.co for all of the latest articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of pro wrestling. I have nothing to plug. You have nothing to plug. There's shows that go up, so check them out.
Yeah, the website is still down. I don't know how I need to talk to somebody about that. But yeah,
Bit of
there
mess,
are podcasts.
bit of disarray.
Um, little bit of disarray for the holidays. But there are podcasts. There's a Discord. Um, hit anybody in the 5 star organization up to get a link to that. I'm sure they'll be nice and give it to you. Um, Yeah, I didn't ask you how was your holiday? I don't know how much you celebrate or whatnot, but how was your holiday, my friend?
Yeah, it was all right. I ate all day, so
Oh yeah, my
that's a
sister
good
made.
day.
I unfortunately do not have any cookies with me right now, but my sister made really good Christmas cookies. I ate all of them like yesterday, so that's why I don't have any cookies with me today. Is because I was going to town on that shit yesterday.
That's valid, honestly. It's a great day to eat things.
Oh yeah, 1%.
But yeah, I don't do the Christmas. Never really been much of a fan. So, it's just kind of a day where everything's closed and that inconveniences me greatly. So,
It is an inconvenience, yes.
yeah. Especially because a lot of stuff for some reason will like a lot of the local good stuff will close for like a week and then you have to do without them for a week. So, like all of the coffee shops near me, they're taking extended absences, and I'm just like, this is detrimental to my health and safety. Um, so it's just like this is just one big inconvenience to me. But the day itself, was fine. So
It
I
is
can't
it
really
is
complain.
interesting because on a military base, everybody goes home, pretty much,
Yeah.
right? So it's just a ghost town out here. Like in my entire community. I say community, I use that word loosely, but like nobody's in our like parking lot, right? It is our
Oh,
car. That is it.
right.
It is kind of creepy. How dead it is out here.
That's weird, honestly. I don't know how I could handle that. That's a bit strange.
A little bit.
Um, but yeah, I guess we can go on to the world of Stardom. There's been some news, some lovely breaking news. Well, not breaking news. It's days old at this stage. Tam Nakano will be attending the Sumo Hall show on December 29th. She won the Women's Grand Prix award from Tokyo Sports, and that's basically been an excuse to reintroduce her to the Stardom universe. She did the video. She has blonde hair now, and now she's going to kind of talk about winning the award at the venue. I am expecting she mentions what her plans are. Maybe she's got a comeback date in mind. I don't know. I imagine she will say something to that effect during
Has
the show.
Natsuko done an interview yet?
I don't know. She was at the press conference that time, but that was about it.
Yeah, but like usually a wrestler will like do an interview a couple weeks before they're like actually ready to come back. But she's been active on Twitter for the most part. So I don't know. She's a different case, I guess.
She
Um,
is.
yeah, I mean, Tam will be there. Okay. I don't know. I was mentioning this yesterday. I still kind of, and I know some people won't be a big fan of this. I still kind of think she retires within a year, and I've been saying this for the past 3 years. So obviously, this is just a. At this point, it's like a New Year's. Oh, I think Tam will retire within a year, and then she doesn't. But I still think she probably is winding down, uh, even though she isn't coming back to retire, if that makes sense. Uh, so we'll see how her run coming back works, and I think we'll get an indicator of that at the big show.
Yeah, there should
Maybe,
be something to
yeah,
to come out of it. I doubt they would let her show up and just be like, "Hey, I won an award. Bye." Doesn't sound very likely.
yeah.
Especially on Sumo Hall. Why would you give time for that? So
Who's
yeah,
like?
uh, I'm interested.
I'm trying to think of like who. Oh man, they're probably gonna like feed Hazuki to or something. Like she'll probably either because her coming back alone is interesting. Like if it was like, oh, Meltier will be here, then I would think, oh well, they're gonna do the Aphrodite thing, right? Where it's like they just kind of come back as a tag team, and then Tam can do her single stuff after the comeback, but they just want to kind of be safe with it. But her coming back alone makes me think that maybe they give her a singles match to come back in. Um, we'll
I don't
see,
know. I wouldn't say
but
so.
I don't know.
They'll just go back to tags, I would assume. I mean,
I guess
Mayu's
they
coming
should.
back and it's a tag.
Yes, this is true. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
guess it's true.
Mayu's a bit more
Oh,
important.
that's a
She is
piece
a
of news that I
champion.
didn't I didn't bring up is that Mayu plans on hijacking the Tokyo Dome show.
Good, good. I think that would improve
she's
the
like I
Dome show.
still I still plan on showing up. Like I don't know. Like I'll talk to him, but I want to be there. Even if I can't wrestle, I want to like say something, like guys, I don't know. I'll be in the Tokyo Dome. It's
Okay,
like,
that's
homegirl, I don't
fair.
know if you could do that.
Hasn't she already wrestled in the Tokyo Dome too? Like she was on the first Stardom
Dark match.
showcase match. Yeah, like
She's
that's
never been on the broadcast though.
really that's strange. I would have thought she would have, but
She's
like
never had a singles match either.
yeah,
I
that's
think
yeah.
that's a
I mean,
big thing.
that's New Japan for you. Um, yeah. So the Cinderella tournament, we got
You
some
you
dates
could have
for
hit the
Cinderella.
speaking of New Japan thing.
I don't wanna. I know no
Speaking
wanna.
of speaking of New Japan,
Ah, jeez.
is it Taro Okada? I think that's his name. The president of Bushiroad Fight and the new overseer of Stardom, as we've been talking about over the past month or so, has become the part-time director of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Um, Alongside, he will be working alongside obviously Hiroshi Tanahashi, who's the new president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'm not saying that this is like a big deal before it is, because I don't think it is yet. But they did put on the Stardom Twitter and stuff that's like, oh, this will improve our synergy as two wrestling companies under Bushiroad. Um, and also Hiroshi Tanahashi's been a pretty big proponent of getting women's wrestling on the shows, even though obviously a lot of the other New Japan veterans and old dudes are not as fond of it. Tana always has been, and Tana was the one last year who was like, uh, "These mixed tag rules are demeaning. We should just wrestle each other because we're all wrestlers. They're just as good as I am. I don't know why we can't just wrestle them." So he's been a big, proponent of sort of, you know, positive things in terms of Stardom and the New Japan relationship, or at least perceived positive things. So I thought that was an interesting thing to kind of bring up, is that not only is the new overseer of Stardom also a director in New Japan, which is a first time thing, I believe, that you know uh, I mean, obviously it's a first time thing because there's only been one president in Stardom so far. um but that's a first time thing, and also Hiroshi Tanahashi's kind of, you know, could mean more positive presentation of Stardom in the future. Because again, as I've said before, um, I don't know how well Obari could have strong armed Gedo. I think Hiroshi Tanahashi can strong arm him a little bit better. But that's just a speculation thing that I wanted to bring up because I thought it was the biggest news of the year pretty much for Puro, is Hiroshi Tanahashi
Yeah,
becoming the
for a lot of
president.
people, it was pretty huge, and I was like, all right, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tanahashi can publicly say what he wants, but whether he privately holds that, who knows? Whether there's too much politics going on for him to ever get women's wrestlers kind of on the show, I don't know. There was some people who were saying that maybe Obari got kind of lost favor because he was throwing money at Mercedes Moné and Kyrie, and that kind of made people go, "Hey, what's the deal, man?" So I don't know. I really don't have any idea of how these dudes view the women's wrestling, and or how like positive they would receive it, even if it's from Tanahashi. Um, he's more likely to succeed, but I don't know if he will succeed or if he even wants to. Um, so I don't know. I think the main thing is
Yeah,
just
I
that
think
you would hope the new president of Stardom, is either learning something by being a director in New Japan and seeing how they succeed, or he's, networking properly to build kind of the relationships. Yeah, I don't know much more beyond that what we could see from a Stardom point of view.
I think that New Japan needs to break down their old dudes, and break down their spirits like Noah does, because those guys in Noah are lucky to get on the show. They do not care if the women go above them, because they'll just let them sit for like 6 months, uh, and say, "I don't need you. I don't care if you've been here for 15 years. Fuck you. Who gives a fuck?" So I think New Japan needs to break down the spirits of their old men better, so that they can make way for women's talents on the shows. Um, but that does kind of bring up another point, is that Marufuji is also an executive in Noah, and he did an interview saying, "Oh, it would be dope if we kind of if Noah decided to do more with the women and get a GHC championship." And everybody was like, "You do know you could do that, right? Like
Hmm.
you're a president there, or like you're an executive. You could campaign for that, but." So there is that part of it, where it is definitely an outward facing thing, where it's like, oh yeah, I love the integration of women's wrestling in these companies, and then behind the scenes it's just like, yeah, but we don't have to do it too much. um you know you never really know.
Pro
And I think
wrestling
Noah's been
never
Noah's been doing a
changes.
good job. Noah's been doing a pretty good job with their women's stuff, so I'm not saying this to shit on them necessarily, but you never really know with that sort of stuff.
No, not at all. And look, pro wrestling is pro wrestling. Um,
Yep.
it's the business that we follow, and it is a strange place. Not so strange is we got some announcements yesterday during New Blood, which is actually kind of strange that they announced this during New Blood. We got
Yeah.
dates for the Cinderella tournament. So they said it will start on March 9th in the Yokohama Budokan, and it will end on March 20th in Nagoya. So those are the only 2 dates we got. I don't know if it's going to stay 2 dates. I would assume not.
Wait, what day does it
Um,
end?
March 20th.
Oh, that's midweek. Oh, that's gonna be rough for us.
Yeah,
That's a Wednesday.
yeah. Oh, lovely. We love that. We love Stardom's schedule. It's so
I
great.
do like
Um,
that there. It looks like there's gonna do 2 weekends of it, and then the final on a midweek thing. Like it's gonna be pretty compact, relatively speaking.
yeah, I do like kind of starting and ending it within 11 days as opposed to
Yeah,
making it a month long. Like,
totally.
the house shows where people are maybe selling an injury to do in the tournament, or they might not be selling an injury and then they are injured for the tournament. I think Maika did that. She like sold her arm or her knee or something, and then stopped selling it for the house shows, and then was hurt again for her tournament. So yeah, it's just better to condense it with how they tend to do things with the Cinderella. So yeah, I don't mind it, but I imagine they'll add some dates. I don't think it's just gonna be 2.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be at least 3. I think, given how big the Cinderella's been lately.
Yeah, unless
I
they
I
reduce the
like.
field, like they might make a
I
smaller
don't.
field.
I don't think they should though. I think that like the the 5 stars the Invitational, the Cinderella's the Open. Right? Like, even though
Mhm.
she'll never win, I want Arena to be able to theoretically win in the Cinderella when she's not ever gonna be in the 5 star until she's old enough. You know what I mean? And that was a Lady C, for example. Um, I kinda like the idea of having the Cinderella tournament kinda just be open to everybody who wants to get in it. Kinda like this Taka tournament that he's doing with, like, 128 wrestlers in it. Uh Maybe don't do 128 wrestlers in the Cinderella, but I think having it open to basically everybody on the roster is the move. But they definitely could shorten the field if they want, and
Yeah,
that would
um
reduce the amount of shows they have to do for
it
it.
might be better too because the last few Cinderellas have been a bit off, and probably just because there's not really much happening
That's
for the
I think
people
yeah I think that's
involved.
because the opening round is the one that's live, and that
Yeah.
has all of the main eventers versus undercarders, jobbers
Hmm.
type of thing. And then the shows that actually have like matches that sound interesting are like in front of 250 people that are silent um in the countryside. You know what I mean? I think that's the bigger issue there. But I imagine if they do a big tournament, I don't think that's something they would fix necessarily. So I kind of agree that it might be for the best if they reduced the field or at least kept it relatively the same, um, and had a few people sit out.
Yeah, and a March Cinderella indicates that they'll build up the challenger for Yokohama Buntai. I'm still learning that name because it's a new venue. But yeah, it'd be Yokohama
Is
Buntai,
it
right?
Buntai or Bunkai?
I don't know. That's what I think it's Buntai because it was Yokohama Bunka, but now it's Buntai because it's a different thing. But
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
okay, yeah. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Okay.
Buntai.
Right. Yeah. Because I was pretty sure. Yeah, I would imagine with a March Cinderella, you hold off on the challenger getting their match until the big Yokohama show, unless I don't see why you would waste it in April.
What day is the Yokohama show? Do they have that announced yet? Or the big show in
They do,
April?
but I can't remember. I think it's
But
late
it's
April.
in yeah, I thought so. Okay. Then yeah. Hopefully, and not what we got this year, which was just Mirai hanging out for a while.
That was desperate. That was so bad. But yeah, that's kind of fun. We also got the full card announcement for Ittenyon Stardom Gate in Tokyo Dome City Hall. In our main event, we have the IWGP Women's Championship on the line. Maya Iwatani defends against Siri. In our semi-main event, Julia and Maika take on Suzu Suzuki and Megan Bain. Doing nothing away there. Utami, Saya, and Azumi
Wait,
take on
oh
Mirai.
Jesus, I didn't know that this entire show was damn.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh, that's fucked. Wait, but this is a pay-per-view?
just hold on. Queen's Quest versus Mirai Amisori and Saki Kashima. Shiori Ano, Yuna Mizumori, and Saki versus Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Baraka. Mai Sakurai and Tekla versus Mina Shirakawa and Mei Seira. Hazuki, Hanan, and Saida versus Starlight, Vicky and Death, and Rina. And in match 0, Lady C, Hina, Miyu Amasaki versus Hanako, Yuzuki, and Ranna Yagami. So is Sayaka Kurara, is she part-time? She's not on the show?
She might be. I think she's younger. But I don't. I saw a tweet with their ages and whatnot, but maybe she's 23. I don't
I
know.
don't think Ranna has an age. They don't give
Yeah,
Ranna an age, but yeah, that's interesting. This is a
they did say that
one-match
she has
show.
like decades of like sports background. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's gas. That's very funny. Exposing poor Ranna. Yeah, this is a one-match show. This is a terrible advertisement of your product for people on January 4th. Like, TJPW has absolutely smacked this card out of the water. And TJPW has not had a great 2023. That January 4th card stamps all over this. And I just don't understand. Like,
They could
this
have.
is this is a big chance to win some people over, to get a lot of new people to watch Stardom, and you're giving them a a 1.5 star or 1.5 match show. Like, this is
I mean, yeah, I think
ridiculous.
Maika probably breaks away in that match in the semi main,
Maybe.
or
But
something big
also,
probably happens in the semi main.
how long are some of these people going to be injured for? Because there's still no Koguma on these.
Yeah.
There's still no Waka. Like, Club
Yep.
Venus is still one wrestler. There's no foreign wrestlers seemingly coming in for early January. And a lot of the injured wrestlers are still injured. There's still no Aya Sakura, still no Momokogo. What what the hell is happening? I don't get it. What happened?
I also like, and this is like obviously a me thing, but why is Hanan versus Mei Sarah not on this show?
Or any other show?
Like, it's the only thing that feels like they're building to that isn't
Mhm.
on any, like, that isn't, just isn't happening. I mean, it's happening on the show, I think. No, they're not even in
No,
the same match. That's
not
a
even in
wait
the
of time match.
same match.
Um, yeah, what the fuck, man? I don't know. Like, it's such an easy 1-2 punch. High speed and a big title. The IWGP and high speed. That works. It's perfect. Two match card, 2.5 match card. That's fine. But this is nothing.
Nothing. And you know, you've advertised this as, hey, if you're going to Wrestle Kingdom, why don't you come to Stardom? Why don't you check Stardom out? This is a terrible advertisement for your product. Like,
Yeah.
who's going to come to this and go, oh, I love this Stardom shit, man? Like, you're getting a fine show and then a good main event. I imagine Siri and Mayu will go all out here, but come on, man. You can do so much. Like, how are you running 3 big shows in a space of a week? And there's not really much happening. Like,
You know what this kind of makes me maybe not fear, but kind of speculate is they might run long for that main event.
oh yeah, I'm convinced they're
Oh
going
wait, but that
for,
but
like,
that that semi main's probably going long too. Does
yeah,
is this a pay per view or is this a
I don't know. I don't know, honestly.
because don't they have different time limits?
Um,
Because like
the
a house show
IWGP,
tag,
well, I think tags in general will have 20.
but no, on house shows they're 15. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
Is
I would say it would be 20, but I don't know.
because yeah, it depends because that semi main looks prime for a
Draw?
a draw. But if they have to go 30, that's gonna be rough. But I think they might, because I feel
I
like
don't
I
know.
remember I remember like a pay-per-view tag
My
match
own
having
Siri
to go
probably goes
30.
30 as well, so I don't know if you do back to back
Yeah,
30,
no, that
30
that's where
plus.
I'm like thinking is that it's like if that semi-main has to go long, then the main event might not go as long. But yeah, there's a 60-minute time limit on that main, so
Mhm.
could be. And they've gone long. Those two notably have gone long. Uh, I remember their first match against each other went 28 and a half minutes. Uh,
Yeah, I remember that. Back when we were
I thought
like,
that was
"Oh,
a
wow, that was
pretty
really long for a Stardom match."
yeah,
And
and
then
it was a good
yeah.
match. for how
Yeah,
long it was, but yeah, it was. They can go long, and I would not put it past them to have that match go long. And
yeah,
if that's the reason for this being a mediocre card, I think that's still bad. But it would make a little bit more sense.
it would, but yeah, it wouldn't be ideal.
Again,
But
just like why is there no artist defense? I mean, I guess they have the triangle derby the day before or whatever.
yeah,
But why is there no high speed defense or a goddess defense or anything? Like I don't know.
yes, nobody does anything anymore. I don't understand it. We've got a
Like
roster here of so many people, and so many of them just don't do things, and it's like
yeah,
you could do stuff. You could let them do stuff. You know, you got some popular wrestlers here. You got
we have like
some cool
six
wrestlers.
divisions.
Yeah, there's like 20 belts to go around. You can do more stuff. Where's Nanai? Why isn't Nanai on the show on the third and not on this? Why isn't Seven Up doing anything? Seven Up is working two random shows and then not doing
Yeah,
this.
why can't we get 7 Up versus effort? I mean, and I think a big part of this is, funnily enough, I hate that they announced this already. Um, but if this was what it's going to be anyway, I get why they did. But I'm thinking like, well, all the titles are in jeopardy this weekend, so they can't really, advertise a title match, unless they do the All Japan thing where it's like, one of these two wrestlers will face William Regal's son. Um, they don't usually do that where it's like, oh, the winner of this match at Sumo Hall will wrestle whoever. But like really, like what are we doing? Let Aphrodite get the defenses up. You know what I mean? They want to hit that like 10-12 marker. Uh you could at least kind of tease it. They could at least win a few a few matches. Um yeah, and we've talked about this before. That's so wild that the schedule is so ludicrous, but there's still no title matches ever. Like how? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean the artist belts have been invisible for most of the year, and it's they you run enough shows to have done some artist stuff, maybe, possibly. But yeah, I don't know. That card paired with the January 3 show and the Sumo Hall show is kind of like, how are you running three big shows in the space of a week? And there's, I don't know, like three matches that you're like, hell yeah,
Yeah, remember
you
when
know,
everybody said that they were saving for these two shows
yeah.
on the
What were we
like
saving? What were
I
we
think
saving?
I think all three of these shows look worse in the company that they have, if that makes
Mm,
sense. Because this show makes the upcoming, the Dream Queendom show look worse. Because it's like, okay, so you could have done like a bunch of shit on the Dream Queendom show if you wanted to, because it's not like you
yeah,
were saving anything. There's nothing here.
no.
Um, so yeah, it's
It's just a poor effort because they can
yes.
do better. Like
Oh,
they have done
100%.
better. I'm sure they will do better, but this is just weak. This is the bare minimum. Like, and it's not good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they'll draw, and these people won't come back, and that's part of the issue with Stardom right now. So we had one show. We had three shows happen this past week. One of them went up yesterday overnight.
Mm.
Uh, but we're recording earlier than I expected, so I didn't get to see any of it because I was finishing New Blood until like a half an hour ago. So I didn't watch
Fukic
the
and
show on the
Death,
23rd.
Fukic and Death getting a fall over Lady C is like 2 days before Lady C's title match is something, man. That's crazy.
I love it. It's
Um,
great, to be honest. Did you watch this
no, I'm looking
23rd?
through kind of
No.
the pictures because I've seen clips of it. One thing is that Hanako got a visual fall over Yuzuki. Uh,
Right. Okay.
so so Hanako hit a move on Yuzuki, and then Saki Kashima slid in and took the pin, and like pinned her. And I was like,
Hmm.
"Hey, thanks, homegirl." But that's important to note going into that rookie tournament next week is that
Yes,
Hanako, even though she didn't pin her technically, Saki Kashima basically like just took the win from homegirl
I
over
love that.
Yuzuki.
That
So
is
that's
Saki's first match back, and
her gear looks
she's pulling
incredible,
that.
by the way.
It
She
does.
looks
I love
great.
the red. The red is
She
very
looks
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
the
a
red
big
and
fan.
black.
And as I was saying earlier, the Hanan Meisera feud continues to heat up. They're beefing at every show that they're on, and it's sick. Why is it not? Why are we? What's happening? When is this happening? What?
Is it? Is it happening? Is it like
Probably
the
not. I think they're
um,
probably scared to give away a fall, right
yeah,
now.
maybe.
But again, and I've said this a million times, May Sarah can win the high speed match. You
Yeah.
know, like if that's especially because she set up this rule set where it's like, oh well, there's 10. It's a 10 count. What was it? 15-minute time limit, 10-minute time limit, something like that. Like that's a different pace than Hanan is used to. Not really, because she had the future belt, where that was pretty much the exact thing that she would do. But Han's not used to that. May Sarah could just win very easily, and then Hana can get her win back eventually. Uh, it's just such an easy match to build or to make, and they are doing great work. Clearly, like you can find clips online of them just bruising each other. Like May Sarah did like a drive by after the match was over. She like did the big like through the ropes drop kick and just like took out Hanan. It was crazy. And it's like this is sick. Why is this not something that we're following up on like immediately? Please. Um but yeah.
We can just run through the results for this anyway. It was where is it now? Stardom Year End Tour 2023. Stardom in Warabi. This is in the Warabi Civic Gymnasium in front of 302 fans. In the opener, Fukigen Death, Rina, and Rocca beat Miyamasaki, Lady C, and Hina. And Fukigen pinned Lady C with a backwards roll up.
You
Maika
you
beat.
missed the match, I think.
Did I? Oh, I did. Oh, yeah. The Hanako Saki Kashima's return game, Saki and Hanako beat Yuzuki and Mina Shirakawa. Saki won with Hanako's Brainbuster. um, so we love that. And yeah, Saki is back and as mischievous as ever. I missed her.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I missed Saki. She's so entertaining. Um, so happy to have her back. Um, then we had the Ueda Tai team get the win. Maika beat Unit Mizumori in just under 7 minutes with the Angel Killer, the Michinoku driver number 2. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if you
that's how
read
that works.
the Micah interview, but she mentioned how Taco was basically like, "You could use this, but you never better not let motherfuckers just kick out of it like nothing. you better
Love
you
it.
better make sure motherfuckers respect this shit."
Her
um,
interviews have been so good, honestly.
yeah, they've been tremendous. Um, I suggest anybody check that out. I believe it was a Tokyo Sports interview, maybe.
Was it them or Number? Because was Number the Utami one?
Number was the Julia one that just came out.
Who did the Utami one then? 'Cause there was an
Was,
Utami
was
one.
there a recent Utami one?
Yes, like just a day or two ago.
Oh, I did not see that.
All right, yeah, I think it was Number because she was talking about the injury and how sometimes she like couldn't move her neck or something. Kind of detailing her injury, really.
Poor girl.
Yeah. Um. So the next match was Megan Bain, Mei Sarah, and Suzu Suzuki beating Hazuki, Hanan, and Saida. Megan got the win over Ida with a neck hanging bomb in just under 11 minutes. We had Mai Sakurai, Tekla, and Julia go to a 15-minute time limit draw with Ami Sourei, Mirai, and Siri. Is that maybe
This,
setting something up for the Triangle Derby? Possibly,
yes.
maybe. Yes.
Honestly,
Um,
I think this makes me believe that the God's Eye girls are winning the tag.
yes, I would imagine so. Um,
Also, there was a clip again I saw on Twitter that Mirai did the old Kagetsu spot
I
where
love that.
the time limit expired and Mirai's like, "Nah, I'm getting my finish off." She just takes out my Sakurai.
I love it. That's great. I would also hit a lariat on my Sakurai, to be fair. I think I
Yeah,
would. It could be fun. We
eat the
then
rich,
had.
right? Larry the
Yes,
rich.
exactly, exactly. In the main event, Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, and Natsuko Tora beat Sai Kamatani, Azumi, and Utami
Man,
Hayashishita. Momo beat Azumi with a Tequila Sunrise, and then Momo talked some shit to Queen's Quest after the match, and that
she
was
couldn't even take the
that.
peach sunrise, man. Like, was that necessary? her like finisher, one of her D
That's just how
finishers.
we go. That's
That's
how we
tough.
roll. Um, The next show then to run through the results of was Year End Climax 2023. This is at Cork and Hall. This had 765 fans. Oh boy, that is not good. Um,
Looking at the picture, I think Micah and Suzu were busy beating the fuck out of each other because
that
they're
would
the
be
only
on
ones
brand.
not here.
They have done that a lot, and it's great every time. I wonder, did they do the recap of the year? Because didn't they used to always do that year on Climax?
Yeah, I mean, Year in Climax used to be a real show.
That's fair, honestly.
Like it used to, man. Y'all don't know. If y'all
They
don't
don't
know, then
they don't.
I do not envy you because Year in Climax used to be like one of the best wrestling shows of the year
It was the
all the
shit.
time.
Like it
Yeah.
was the celebration. Um,
And
there's
just
that
the
one.
vibes. It was always a hot Corkin, like it was the hottest
Mm,
Corkin of the year, pretty much, especially for Stardom. It was always just, man, I miss it.
take me back. Um,
Yeah.
the opening match of this show, I know it was Mei Seira beating Yuzuki in 8.5 minutes. Hanan beat Hanako in 6 minutes with a blockbuster hold, which is just a backdrop driver. My
Oh wait, no,
Sakurai,
that's the wait.
what?
Isn't that the cutie special?
Oh yeah, the blockbuster. Yeah, that would be the cutie special.
Which is the
Yeah.
Hanan special. I don't know why they don't call it the Hanan special on the
I don't
website.
know. They just call it blockbuster hold. My Sakurai got another win. She beat Saida. When her and Tekla beat Hazuki and Ida. I like how Hazuki has been in all these matches and she's never involved in the fall. She doesn't win them. She doesn't lose them. She's just there. Um,
Well, Koguma's out, so she needs to be the one that doesn't give a fuck.
love it. It's great.
Because
We
Koguma
need
Koguma used to
Koguma
have
back,
that.
man. What's with Koguma?
I don't know. I thought it was just your eardrum, which I know just your eardrum is like not really a thing. Like that is a lot. That's a hard thing to deal with. But I thought it was just like that one injury that would have just kind of like gotten better over time. But it's
Hmm.
been a few months now.
Well, we suffer on.
Yeah, yes sir.
We had Saki Kashima beat Yuna Mizumori and Mina Shirakawa. Saki got the win
Saki's
over
having a great
Yuna.
time.
She
Look at her.
is.
Look at her in these
Um,
pictures.
she's causing mischief. What can I say? She enjoys it. Um, I will find the pictures. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
this is
look
on
at
the
her.
website.
Look at her
Everybody,
having
she's
time
just
of her
cheesing.
life.
She is not doing a single move until the revival.
We love that for her. She's great. After that, we had Yu and Nanai Takahashi beating Amisore and Siri. Nanai pinned Amisore in 13.5 minutes with the
uh,
Nanamomo driver. What's
that's
called?
real.
Oh yeah, it's a tag move. So and
Oh,
then
it's
Nanai.
the
Yeah,
T gimmick.
yeah. The T gimmick.
That's the real name of the move.
Sure.
That was Trent Acid's finish with Johnny Cashmere.
I feel like
Backseat
Nanai and
Boys.
Momo did it first.
When did Nanamomo start winning matches?
Like 1998.
See, yeah, I think the Backseat Boys was 99, so maybe they haven't beat. Maybe.
9 times out of 10, the Joshi wrestler
It's the
innovated
Joshi's
it.
first.
Yeah,
But I think the T gimmick is a very cool name for the move
that's fair. That's
because they
fair.
got her in the T.
Yeah,
It
she
used
is.
to,
She is
and it used to
teeing.
be the tropical T gimmick when Uniman would hit the Alabama with them.
Hmm.
Man, that used to be such a great trio. I can't believe Uniman is just you know
Yeah. Um, and
cussing.
I got on the microphone after and was like, "Hey, Merry Christmas, Passion." Seven Up was back. Don't take Passion for granted. Siri got on the microphone, and despite losing, she challenged Mayu Iwatani for Ittenyon. Mayu made her first Stardom appearance since her injury and did the whole "Hey, Cork and Konbanwa." Um,
And she still forgot her belt.
yeah,
Um,
she's great. Honestly, we love Mayu.
Saida like ran
Yeah, you
full
don't think of it to her.
sprints.
Great.
Just like bumped herself onto the apron and tossed it into the ring. Everybody was going crazy for her. Great spot.
Yeah. And that was that. That match was made official. Mayu is, of course, returning on the 29th. They did kind of set up Mayu versus Kid, but they seem to have changed tack there. I
I
don't
think I
really,
think people
I don't
kind
know.
of read into that a bit too much.
Well, they did have Kid for no reason cut a promo on Mayu, so I feel like.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but Kid is always for no reason cutting promos.
But Mayu responded. She showed up and promoed back. Like they had the two of them, at a press conference cut a one-on-one promo
It's
for a
a
tag
very
match.
real possibility that Mayu beats Kid in this tag match.
This kid is that lost right now because
But
like people
no,
forget
this is
because she
a
got injured. She had a terrible GP winning record wise. She lost her
she
comeback
also was just
match.
she was also just quite um underwhelming in the
She
GP
took the
and
pin in the New Blood
yeah.
tag title match. Like
Hmm.
they are really stretching it with Homegirl there. That's interesting. But yeah,
I
we'll get to
think
that in the preview. Don't worry.
yeah, I think that's a run back from the GP match that didn't get to happen. So if
Yes.
Mayu's meant to win that, Mayu will just win this.
But where's it gonna happen? Oh, is it just in the tag?
No,
Do
I
you
mean
think?
the tag match. Yeah, like if Mayu was meant to get that fall, she's gonna get that fall.
Why didn't they just like have them have a singles match at Sumo
A
Hall?
special singles. Yeah, I mean they
Yeah.
usually have a special singles on these shows, but
Why is like why aren't we
why is
doing
nothing
things?
happening?
Why is nothing happening? Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we had a Ryogoku pre-match 12-woman elimination tag. Miyu Amasaki, Lady C, Hina, Sayaka Matani, Azumi, and Utami Hayashishita beat Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, Ricky and Death, Rina, Rocca, and Natsuko Tora. Saya last eliminated Momo to get the win in 20 minutes. So that's interesting.
Wait,
Queen's Quest got the
is
last laugh.
wait really? Did she last pin Momo?
She threw over the top rope.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, on here it says the last one was over Fukigen, but
Oh yeah,
no, it's
they
just
don't
missing.
list
It's missing.
they don't list it. They like list
Oh,
the other
that's
ones then. Yeah, it's
oh,
weird.
okay. That's
Yeah.
dumb, but okay.
So yeah, that's interesting because Queen's Quest got the last laugh over a wait of time before the tag match.
Everything smells fishy, Alex.
Yeah, are we doing a V0? Are we doing a V0? I wonder.
They shouldn't. And I think the point of this
And
was
actually, I will give them credit because the results of this Corkin very much made me interested in some of these results for Sumo Hall because they have
Mhm.
planted those seeds of doubt now. So fair play to them for that because this is one of those that has me kind of doubting whether we're going to see V1.
I don't know. I feel like Oedota's been winning every other time, and I think the big thing about this match, and they put this over huge on Twitter and whatnot, is that this is the first time that the six members of Queen's Quest have tagged together since the cage match.
Oh wow.
So I think this is the and this is one of the first times that they've all been healthy since the cage
Mm,
match for that matter, and healthy and active, right? Because Hina was out, for school stuff directly after the cage match.
yeah.
Lady C would get sick or injured pretty frequently. Miyu was in and out. Obviously, Saya's injury and Utami's injury. This is the first time they've all been like kind of like in it since the cage match. So I think that
Right.
was the big thing here.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't necessarily think this is like indicative of, and also Uedo has won every other match that they've had as a
Well,
preview.
yeah, but this is like the
This is
preview
the
match.
preview, yeah.
That's kind of what has me interested. But we'll talk about it a bit more. In the main event and our second Ryogoku preview tag match, Saori Ano, Megan Bain, and Suzu Suzuki beat Mirai, Maika, and Julia in 22 minutes when Megan Bain pinned Julia with the F5. Intriguing,
Hmm.
to say the least. Um, let's see. Was there anything after the match?
Uh, Mayu talked. It looks like. I mean,
Mayu?
there was like beefing. Yeah, there was beefing, and then Mayu looks like closed the show.
How did she do that?
I don't know.
Great.
She's found a mic, I guess.
I love Mayu. She's great. Yeah, because
There was a lot after the match.
Megan got on the microphone. Julia got on the microphone. I'm gonna go home and have turkey and Christmas cake. Um, I'm gonna beat you at Ryogoku. Suzu got on the mic and said, "Hey, Maika, you suck." Maika stole her microphone. Said it's the beginning of the Empress era at Sumo Hall. They grabbed each other's hair, fought off. Ano then got on the mic and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna beat you." And Mariah got the microphone and said, "I'm gonna beat you." So we had three separate matches where they were like, "I'm gonna win." No, I will win. And
Has
honestly,
Megan Bain
that's the
always done a tombstone?
I want to say yes because that is very power wrestler style move. Yeah.
There's a picture of it on the website. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would say yes, but I don't
Okay.
know for sure. Yeah, they did actually play the clips of 2023. It says
That's
it
fun.
here on the
I'll have
description,
to go
and
back and watch that.
that is why Mayu got to close the show because she is the icon of Stardom. Apparently, her and Suzu had a bit of a back and forth there, so that's kind of interesting.
Theoretically, she is the next. She's the next president of Stardom. Given how even how New Japan's run.
I would worry so much. um,
Yeah.
Imagine Mayu in a business capacity. I cannot believe it.
It was very funny because like once upon a time, uh, it was like, oh well, Mayu and Yoshino, they could take over. Like I think them as a duo could probably run the
Hmm.
company if Rossi had to retire. And now it's like, oh my god, no, we can't leave Mayu alone with
Okay,
this. This
so
is such a bad
I
idea.
don't know if this got coverage anywhere. Apparently, Maika and Suzu fought to the showers
Yeah,
and
it
they
did get covered.
drenched each other.
There's
Okay,
YouTube videos of them beating the fuck out of each other
of course.
backstage,
Now
getting.
it's not as bad as it sounds. They are both fully clothed. Maika is even wearing a jacket, so it is not like, oh my god, look, get them wet. Oh my god, it is like they are clothed
It
and drenching each
does
other.
it does draw loose comparisons to the Julian Tam thing, but obviously it's not
Yeah,
like you said, it's not that.
it's not bad.
But it does kind of make me think that maybe they see this as like the next Julia Tam,
Oh dear God. Okay, well,
which at least these two are good at wrestling each other.
yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, well, they do have a cool story. I'll give them that.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was the year-end climax. A lot of little stuff happened there. That isn't up yet online because it was 2 days ago and they ran yesterday, so it would be asking a lot. But we did get to see the one show. They did give us all a nice Christmas present because they did live stream New Blood 12, and this had 254 fans at the Shinagawa Intercity Hall. So in our opener, we had our first debut of the night. Sayaka Kurara lost to Sayaka Matani in 8.5 minutes when she got hit with the Star Crusher. Um, so Kurara looks like she is from a different company entirely. I'm
yes.
still not fully sure that she's an actual Stardom trainee or if she just got
Sh-
lost on the way to TJPW because
She looks very TJPW pilled,
she
kind of ice
does.
ribbon pilled.
Hmm.
Um, at least in a certain era, certainly. Um, it is very interesting, and I would say both of the new debuts kind of feel like a splash of something new, which is
Yeah,
interesting. Like Yuzuki's a very Stardom trainee. Miyu was a very Stardom trainee. Even Hanukkah, who wrestled outside of Stardom, by the time she was in Stardom, was a pretty Stardom trainee type of wrestler.
yeah.
Ayasakura as well. I think both Rana and Kura are both like we're calling her Kura by the way, because Kurara, it's extra Ra just doesn't work for me.
I
By the way,
still think we should just roll
um,
with Kuroko and just never explain it.
but that's not how Japanese works. Where's the
Why?
ko from?
I
Where's
don't
the
know.
ko from?
It's the show. Kuroko, Kuroko's basketball. We just call
But
her
that
Kuroko.
I'm sticking with Kura. You do what you want, homie.
Man,
It's
I can't be the only
but
one that does it. Then it's not as effective.
well, I'm not doing that. You're just wrong. You're saying
This
it
is
incorrectly.
so are you.
Kura is a shortened form. Shortened form. That's literally what like Rossi tweeted like her name as was just Kura.
Sure, sure.
Okay, but um, they both feel like very I don't know like unique wrestlers in that way. Like they feel very outsider ish in terms of their style. Um,
Yeah.
I think style wise, you could find a lot more from Rana. Obviously, I don't think there was much here for Kuro, but yeah, I agree with
Kuro,
your.
you are changing it every.
It's Kura. It's
You
just
said
Kura.
Kuro last time.
I never said Kuro.
You said Kuro.
That's actually the name of a One Piece villain. I was thinking about
Oh
it.
my,
I was thinking about calling her Kuro.
oh my
Uh,
goodness.
but great One Piece villain, by the way. That was
I'm
one of the
on
earlier
board with
arcs.
Kuro. Kuro is a nice midpoint.
Yeah,
So,
Kuro. Yeah.
all right, okay, well, all right. Yeah, she's the most base rookie in that I have seen rookies wrestle this exact style a million times in Joshi, and that's what she's doing. She, gets the shit beat out of her. She, did the knee pad climb of her opponent and was throwing the forearms and was, yelling to get back into the match. She is very much the most like base layer rookie Stardom's had in a while, where they're like, you were gonna do this one thing, okay, and you're gonna do it well, and you're just gonna do this one thing. 'Cause yeah, she just
Yeah,
sells, and then fires up and plays the baby face.
I don't think I think Itsuki Yoshino was the last one that was like this. Because like you think
Mm,
about it, every wrestler post Bushiroad, like in the Bushiroad era, has had something
yeah,
immediately. Lady C was tall, so she was kind of like she would do like the giant Baba moves. Um, Miyu Amasaki was actually like a technician early on, like
mhm.
very,
Don't
distinguishably.
forget the knee bars. I will never forget.
Yeah, yeah, she was locking in some knee bars. She was solid at it. Like she wasn't bad at it, but that was her thing starting off. And then Hanako is a big, obviously. Um, Yuzuki's kind of high speed. Yuzuki's very like high paced, high octane type of thing, and she has the judo behind her. Um, and yeah, like we'll talk about Rana, but Rana is a very specific, offset of wrestler.
Rana is
Kura,
a beast.
Kura, Kura, whatever. She's just not. She she she's just a rookie. She's very bare bones. Aya also had the karate, obviously.
Mm.
Like she's the first one in years that is very just, she hasn't picked a lane yet in terms of what style she
Yeah,
wants to
but
wrestle.
I think that's her lane. I think they are very much in the
All
vein
rounder.
of you are
Yeah.
the idol who sells. They're gonna
Mhm.
pair Kuro up with somebody who will like fend off the heels for her, and it will be, the crowd will love it. Like this is the staple of
Yeah,
Joshi.
I mean she's definitely cosmic coded, right?
Yes, yes,
Like Cosmic
completely.
Angels Club
Cosmic
Venus.
Angels, Club Venus,
Yeah.
yeah, either one. Her and Mina might be a good team, in a similar vein to like Mina and Waka,
Mm.
where you have one who sells and you have one who'll come in and clean house. I think that would be very fair for her.
Yeah. I
So
also
I
really
can
like
kind
her
of see
spear,
that.
which is like the only
Yes.
thing she actually did
Yeah.
outside of like the pretty basic stuff. She had a really cool spear.
Mhm.
This is also Saya's first singles match back, which
Oh,
you don't think about, but is true.
that's actually strange. She was good though. I thought she was good.
Yeah, it was a fine match.
I loved the spinny kick and the sell on that. I thought that was when I was like, hell
Mm.
yeah, this Sayaka girl, she gets it because it was a good sell on the spinny kick. She just plummeted. So
Yeah,
that
I think the selling here was great. I think that
mm.
was kind of what her bag was here, which kind of makes me wish that she wrestled like a bit more of a power wrestler, um, just to get her really beat up. You know what I mean? But Saya
Yes.
did a great job regardless.
Yeah, Saya was good at leading the match, and yeah, Sayaka she played her part, and I think we got a good idea of what she's going to be. Um, I like the gear
Yeah.
because it's not the strap and the circle thing. It's actually different gear. I think the
I know later
blue
on
and the
I was looking at it was Umasaki and Miyu, and I was like, they're wearing two completely different gears, but they're not different gears.
it's
You know what I mean?
just
Like those are
changing the homework, copying the homework, but
yeah,
changing the
exactly.
answers a little bit. Yeah, yeah. No, I thought like Sayaka's really stood out. With
Yeah.
the kind of baby blue, the light pink. It's very. She's got a vibe that she wants to go for, and she's going for it,
It
and
stood out in a
she
good
knows
way
what
too.
she is. Yeah,
Because I think
definitely.
I think like the Ayasakura gear was something that was completely different, but I thought it was kind of ass. I'm gonna be real. I thought it looked kind of really bad. But it was different. This is a gear that's like different from what you usually see in Stardom, but it's also like pretty and it looks cool and it fits her vibe. I think the vibe she's going for. And yeah, I think obviously like we'll talk about all of them, especially next week with the rookie tournament. But I'm very excited for this crop of rookies because they are, you know, they have all of them have something.
Yes. Yeah, they've really got a good crowd here. Um, Theme song check. What we think, and I think it's okay. I think it's good. It's a decent song.
I think it's all right.
Yeah.
I didn't take much notice to her theme song. I noticed Rana's a bit more.
Yeah, I actually have to
Um,
go back to listen to hers again. It like just blended in, yeah. So yeah, that was
which is usually a
Sayaka.
good thing. If it's
That's
not
true,
like
yeah.
notable how annoying it is, that's at least fine.
Yes, it tends to grow on you then as well. Um, yeah, that was Sayaka Kurara. And then we had in our second match, our second debut, Siri beat Rana Yagami in just under 10 minutes with the Suzaku. Um, Rana is just a different breed. Like, everything about her is just different, in a good way.
Again, she felt like a just tap out rookie, and I know it's a very specific jump, and a
Hmm.
very few people even know what I mean by that. But like, kind of, and I know it's because she was a karate girl, but like very Tomoka Inaba esque, I would say, is kind of my comparison. Obviously with the kicks, but also with just like the way she applies her arm bar and just her certain like fire is very unique to the crop of Stardom rookies and the Stardom homegrowns in general. Uh, yeah, I thought she did great. You can continue. I know you're huge on Rana.
Yeah, she's just different, like everything about her stands out. The entrance theme is one of those where you're like, I'm gonna remember that. That is memorable. It sets
It
her
was kind
apart.
of a vibe. Yeah,
It is. It is. The gear is fantastic. I think it's a
love the gear.
great. It's not. It's again. It's not the circle on the straps. It's gold, like this thundery yellow gold. It's black. It kind of looks
Has
like
some purple
Pikachu,
on
but
there.
it's kind of based. Um,
It kind of reminds
so
me of Arisa Endo's, a
yes,
little
yes,
bit.
very very Orisu Endo actually. Yeah. Um, so and just the way she carries herself is definitely a little bit better than the standard rookie. Just very impressed by Ranna. And in a world, I feel bad for her because in a world without Yuzuki, she's like the cream of the crop. But Yuzuki exists, and
Yeah,
that is a very high bar for anyone to meet. But yeah, Rana is as close as you're gonna get to that, perfect Yuzuki rookie kind of.
yeah. No, I agree. I think she's like actively very good, and obviously Shuri is incredible at these rookie showcase matches. So I think we'll have to kind of like look at her again next week when she has like other matches, because uh, I guess there's that old saying that it's like if you can get a good match out of Shuri, good for you. I could also get a good match out of Shuri. What I
Mhm.
mean? Like Shuri can get a good match out of me rather. Um, so we'll have to see a bit more. But yeah, I think that she did a tremendous job. Both of them did. Her
Oh,
kicks,
I'm sold. I'm
they're
sold.
there.
When was the last genuine kick rookie Stardom had? Because Aya Sakura was kind of she can throw them, but she didn't want to. It was a bit iffy. Rana is
She
throwing
didn't
them
have the
shits.
because the thing is that I think because Rana has like learned how to control her kicks because of Makai. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, yeah,
Because of Makai, she's learned how to control her kicks. Because she has like 10 years in karate and like 10 years in dance, or like she's like a athlete's athlete. Because she knows how to control her kicks from that Makai training, she already knows, oh, I was laid in a bit more, but not too much to where it's like I'll kill them, but also not like whiff on it so that I don't. Like she knows. She's already got it, which is a huge thing most rookies don't have. And that's what Aya Sakura's problem was ultimately. Because yeah, her kicks were tremendous here.
yeah. They were good. And some of her transitions into the technical stuff was crazy. Like the armbar transition was so inventive. Like I think there's going to be people who don't watch Stardom who are very into Rana Yagami. Because she's just got a very interesting style.
Cool name, by the way.
Um,
This
yeah,
is a funny note. I like her name. I'm pretty sure it's
good
just
name.
her name, like in actuality. But Rana Yagami is
Yeah,
again. It
you don't
reminds me
come
of
across a lot of Ranas. That's for sure.
yes, but it obviously reminds me of a Death Note with Yagami.
Yes,
But
of course.
like just the name, it rolls off the tongue. It's you'll remember it. It's very unique in a way because there are no Ranas, and Yagami is a very memorable name. Uh, but yeah, I thought she's great. She'll be a big deal, I think,
Yes,
if
I
she
mean,
sticks with it.
like we're talking,
Definitely.
like a co-leader for Wei Tai, no doubt
Oh
about
yeah,
it. right? Like that's kind of where I'm seeing her.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like it could be a really interesting thing that they do here if they do it right. Because obviously she's very attached to Shuri right now because Shuri's her favorite wrestler and Shuri
Hmm.
is her master, right? Effectively, it sounds like Shuri had a hand in training her to some degree, the way that she kind of talks about her. Um, but I think she is kind of destined for a Oedo Tai because it's just like there's just something there.
Yeah, like her gear is actually very God's Eye esque. Like I could see Amisore wearing something like this.
Hmm.
So it is kind of God's Eye esque, but her whole kind of
But I could also
thing
see it
is just very
similar
Oedo Tai.
to Momo's.
Yeah,
Like, just, like,
yeah, that's true.
vibe-wise, like, color-wise, vibe-wise, like so, yeah, I think that could be a really good story that they could run
Hmm.
pretty early on with, like, oh, does she kind of continue to side with Shuri, or does she go to Oedo Tai? And that was kind of the story with Sai Kamitani, with Tam and Utami, right?
Yeah,
Where Saya naturally was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm Tam's young girl," basically. Like, that was Kamitani's early run, was she was Tam's little friend.
she
And
teamed
then
with
she's like,
Stars, like
yeah,
almost
she teamed with
exclusively.
Stars. She obviously teamed with like Ida and whatnot, and Ida was aligned with Stars and whatnot. Like it was very much like, oh, I am, Tam's young girl. I'll team with Stars. These are my people because I really look up to Tam. And then she had a match with Utami, and she's like, nah, I need to learn everything from you. You're what I need to be. And Tam took that to heart, and that's where the Sai Kamatani Tam feud stems from, and that it's still a thing today. Like that was meant to be the match we're talking about this weekend if it wasn't for injuries. Um, so I think that you could do that with Rana and Shuri and Natsuko, or Shuri and Momo, like because Momo's kind of the one who lures people, I guess, story
Yeah, and
wise.
Momo's already planted the seeds. I mean, she had the
Yes,
promo
yes,
with Mio Masaki, and
and they already have beef. Godzai and Oedo Tai are kind of like on again, off again rivals. Like
yeah, well,
they
it's,
have
God's Eye did take in Saki, so
yes.
you've got that. So that's definitely. Um, so yeah, I'm interested in that, and I'm very high on Rana. Again, in a world without Yuzuki, I mean, she's the one, but she unfortunately has to compete with Yuzuki, which could be very interesting if they want it to be. The generational rivals thing is so easy to do, and her and Yuzuki seem like they might pair up really well. So
Hmm.
you could
I
look at
mean,
those two down the line.
it's a lifetime judoka versus a lifetime Kar there's a way to say it. I always fuck it up though. A lifetime
Yeah, I
karate,
don't know.
you know,
But they're just like
athlete.
as people, like you have the Bow Moon girl and the drummer Makai girl. Like just they're
Yeah,
so different
very
altogether that it's very
metal
easy to do.
electric vibes over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very intrigued by that and how they if they want to do that going ahead, which I'd imagine they will. They always kind of do those like classmate kind
What
of
are the
stories.
matchups? What are the matchups for this upcoming the tournament?
Isn't
I'll
it
look it up.
isn't it Rana versus Yuzuki? Because I think it's Hanako and Sayaka.
I think you are right.
Yeah, I feel like
Yuzuki
I
versus yeah, Yuzuki versus
yeah.
Rana. That's the
There
next
we go. Right
matchup.
off the bat. That rookie tournament is genuinely one of the things I'm looking forward to the most. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
care
100%.
I don't care about Mayu and Suri. I don't care about the red belt. I don't care about Suri Ano. I care about the rookie of Stardom
Well, I care
tournament.
about Seriana. Shouts out Seriana.
Yeah, Suri Ano's cool. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, the rookie tournament is carrying 2024 so far. Um at X Match anyway on New Blood,
Oh,
there were no more rookies. We had May
there's something
Sarah.
I'm even more excited about that I just realized is happening, but we'll talk about
What
that
is it?
later.
Okay,
We'll talk.
all
It's
right.
on the Dream Queendom. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. We have May Sarah beating Hina in 8 minutes. Yeah, May Sarah gave her the works. um, I've never
Did you
seen somebody
see?
so thoroughly outclassed in a wrestling match.
Did you see the gimmick that May Sarah was working here? Um, she posted it on like Twitter, and I think she said it in like the post match that she was basically like, "Yeah, so Hina's Hanan's little sister,
Mhm.
um, and they kind of look alike, and I don't really like that. Someone beat the fuck out of
Yeah,
her."
I could tell. I saw like one drop kick, and I was like, oh, this is personal.
Yeah. Hina is. I thought this match was a better performance from Hina than I've seen in the
Hmm.
past few months. I think Hina still has something. Like I think she has a lot of upside still. I don't think she's lost it. It's just that like because of her inconsistent schedule and because that she's just like kind of like trying to catch up at all times, she has very noticeable blind spots. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like there are just certain things that she just cannot do, right? Um but I still think that a lot of the stuff that she's like decent at, she's quite good at, and she will get very
yeah.
good at if she keeps at it. But there are obviously like things that she just does not have a clue to do. Like I think early on she had to do kind of like limb work and just kind of like do heat, and I was like, you can't do this for shit. Like I like you missed the class on it. You know what I mean? Um, but I think that she still has something there, which is something that you kind of get worried about with younger wrestlers. Is that it's like, do they still have that like upside that they had before whatever happened? And for her, it's just you know focusing on school and having an inconsistent schedule like that. Uh, but I think she still has it. May Sarah, fucking absurdly good. Like we say it
Mhm.
all the time, but she's so good. The Gato clutch to the Rolling Star finish. I don't know if you like peeped it. Great. It was such a
Yeah.
seamless little thing that I just loved. It was such a quick finish. It was really uh it's what you want those roll up exchanges to be, where it's just so just like, yep, and then I got it and I win. It's very good. I liked the finish a lot.
May Sarah rocks.
Yeah,
That's
she's
where we're at.
tremendous.
She's great. Our next match then was Chanyota and Mai Sakurai beating Rina and Rocca. Mai Sakurai beat Rocca with the Mai Pan roll in 8 minutes. Yeah, I like the moving parts of this match. Chanyota and Rocca did the beef, and
Yep.
then Rina and Mai Sakurai wrestled, and then there was some tag moves. This was Britain; they would have called them sick effing tag moves with Chanyota and Mai Sakurai. And then yeah, China or Mai Sakurai got the win for her team. So I thought it was a good match. China Oda and Mai are a good team. And yeah, China Oda and Araka are like a great pair. But also
Yeah.
Mai Sakurai and China Oda just they fit so well. Like every interaction they have, I'm just like, this is great. This is perfect.
Yeah, I liked that Ruaka kind of just showed up for like those like 2 minutes where she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna fight this girl," and I thought it was really good. I thought
Mm,
Chanyota and Ruaka showed out there, and yeah, I agree. I think that my Sakurai looks good next to Chanyota, and Chanyota looks good next to my Sakurai. Like they definitely amplify each other because I don't think
mhm.
alone either of them are like tremendous, but together they kind of make some magic there. I didn't think this match was like particularly like great or anything. I wasn't too high on it, but I also like I see the vision. You know what I mean? I see
Yeah.
I see where they're going with this tag team, and I like them together.
Yeah, I think they're a neat pairing. It's such an interesting one as well, just from the character standpoint of the lady Mai Sakurai and the muscle bar lady who drank eggs or something that one time when she showed up.
Yeah,
Like
she
just
squats the president. Yeah.
yeah, just completely off the walls team there, but they make it work. I think they're a really good pairing. Speaking of good pairings, actually, there were some good ones in the next match. We
Oh
had
yeah.
Ruku Umasaki and Miyu Amasaki beat Yuzuki and Hanako in 10.5 minutes. Miyu Amasaki actually got the win over Yuzuki with the Tensei. But yeah, some of the individual pair offs here were great. I
Umasaki
think
showed the fuck up. Like
she
I don't
did.
know what like.
Her she was ready. She was waiting. She saw Yuzuki and was like, "It's over. I'm in."
Yeah, she was tremendous in this match.
Mm.
Um, I
So was
also
Yuzuki
thought that
too.
I think everybody was really good in this match.
Yeah,
Actually, I
it's
thought
true.
this match was
It's
like
true.
again way better than it had any right to be. Um, Miyu Amasaki with the bow, it was a cute fit. I would say I like the matching bows. Uh, that
That was
her and
good.
Amasaki had.
Bows
It was
are
a good.
bows are elite. Honestly,
Yeah,
I can't lie.
and she looks like a bow fits her. Like just like
Yes,
vibe wise, it's very much like, oh yeah, that looks like a Miyu thing. Like that completely works. Um, yeah, Hanako and Yuzuki did some great tag stuff. Like Yuzuki did a tornado off of off of Hanako's like what is it? Military press. She's
yeah,
launched her, and I was like, "That's sick! I love that." Umasaki was doing what she does. She was kind of the vet relatively to everybody in this match, and she was kind of laying it in there as you should. Um,
She is a
yeah, I thought
world
this.
champion, let's not forget.
Yeah, I thought this was like again way better than I thought it could be. I was gonna skip this match. I was like, yeah, this is the match that there's not
Wow.
much to it. That I
Yeah.
like,
You almost
not
missed
much
the best
intrigue.
match of the show. That's
Yeah, it
crazy.
was it was very good. I think it might have been my best match of the show because they were
Probably
all
was because the main event got screwed up with the audio, so
well. They
it's
re-uploaded it. Did you get to see
Oh,
that?
did they? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know. I only watched it in the
Um.
moment.
Yeah. I mean, next to the Shuri Rana match, this is probably the strongest match of the show. Um.
Definitely. Hanako, new gear? Yeah, that was new
This
gear.
is
I'm not
no. She
mistaken.
she wore this at the last New Blood. This is her big
Really?
match gear.
Okay. 'Cause I felt it was new. I thought something
She
about it
just
was
doesn't always
different.
watch it or
That's fair.
always wear it,
That's
rather.
fair. But yeah, no, I thought like all the pairings worked really well here. Again, Miyu and Yuzuki, and Umisaki and Yuzuki, I thought had some very good exchanges. And yeah, more of this. Yuzuki and Hanako maybe as a tag team. Let's go. They do fit together. I mean, they do the blue and
Yeah.
white color scheme, so I feel like they could pair off long term if they wanted to.
Yeah, and I think they work pretty well. Just I think again they kind of amplify each other, right? Like I
Mhm.
think Yuzuki makes up for Hanako's weaknesses, and I think Yuzuki's biggest weakness is just like uh excessive. Just there being too much space in a wrestling match that she's not used to. I think that's the only
Yeah,
thing, and that's just a rookie thing. That's not even like a her specific thing. But I think Hanako getting the hot tag is a perfect, you know, way to fix that and kind of
hmm,
sustain her as she continues to grow into the wrestler that she's going to become.
definitely. I'm in favor of more Umasaki. This is a brand that really fits her.
Yeah,
Uh, if the white belt match with Saya obviously died a death in the venue, and then the Karma thing was what it was. But there
it's
is a
funny. The Karma
talented
thing started
wrestler
getting
there.
kind of decent by the time it was over. Like
Yeah,
she was,
I
it
didn't
wasn't
hate it.
good. It wasn't good.
No,
Never got
no.
good. It was always pretty dumb. But like she started just actually wrestling at some point, and I was like, okay, this is decent.
Yeah, but I think you see here the value of Anu Masaki to a match
Totally,
like this. I mean, she definitely elevated this a little bit with her abilities, and I mean, she is a good wrestler. So, yeah, I think a bit more of this from her, especially on the New Blood brand, to kind of go, hey, if you want to watch cool Umasaki matches, you got New Blood. So,
totally.
I'm here for it. The main event then of the show was a New Blood Tag Championship match. Hanan and Saida defended against Ami Sourei and Lady C, when Hanan got the win over Lady C in 13 minutes with a backdrop driver. Um, yeah, the
Oh yeah,
audio unsynced very early into the match, and I was like, This is it. I'm done.
the
I'm
star on
dead."
YouTube hates Hana. That's true.
Yes, 2 shows in a row.
Um,
That is crazy.
yeah, they re-uploaded it with better audio. And it was fine. You know what I mean? Like I think the style again, like it's similar to the Chan Yoda my Sakurai match. I thought this match was better than the Chan Yoda Sakurai match personally. But I think the style that Wingori is going to bring to these tag belts if they hold them for a little bit longer, is great. Like
Mhm.
I understood the vision that they were going for, and I was like, this is great. Like they're going to have some great matches here. The issue here is that it was just not like the pair. It just didn't really work as well as I think it could have. Lady C tried her heart out. This for the most part it was Hanan versus Lady C. Like it was just a singles match. Uh, the other two kind of were supporting characters here, but I thought Hanan worked hard. Lady C worked hard. It was a fun match, but it wasn't anything great.
Yeah, I didn't have a ton to take away from it. They like tried to do a thing with Lady C after, but they never built it up properly enough to make it work. She was like very emotional after the match, and you're like, well, I get it, but also you could have, sold this story a
You
little
could have
bit and
just
got me
won
into.
forehead.
Yeah, but you could have sold this story a bit more and been like, "Hey, Lady C really wants to win these belts, or this is her last chance to maybe win a belt," and then you're into it, right? You're
Hmm.
more into the match. Whereas them just wrestling and then her being like crying in the corner was like, I get it, but also I feel like there was a missed opportunity there. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It didn't leave much of an impression on me, but obviously the audio issues were what they were.
As
Um,
Velke said, being a Lady C fan is pain.
yes, yeah, it's getting rough out here. Honestly, I don't know where the goal is, but
And one
the
more
goal.
note about this show, which I imagine because you're not as terminally online. Well, you don't use Instagram as much as I do. Hazuki actually took the photographs for a lot of these, like the ones
Oh,
that are uploaded. She
yeah,
was on photography duty.
nice.
It was her first time. She was like, "Yeah, I wanted to be a little, I wanted to try out being a photographer for the show." And she's like, "That shit was hard." But like that last picture of Saya Kamatani, or not Saya Kamatani, of Saya Ida and Hanan like cheesing super hard, Hazuki took that picture, and she's very proud of it.
Oh, that's cute. That's nice. Um, After the match, then, as I said, there was a bit of a promo where they were kind of speaking to Lady C a little bit, and then out came Mai Sakurai and Chanyota,
Mhm.
and they challenged for the belts, which I think anybody and everyone could have predicted. But here
Yes,
we go. I'm into it. I think Mai and Chanyota are going to work really well with Wingori. I mean, even just Chanyota and Ida doing bits is going to be so good.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to the next show, the next New
I
Blood.
am concerned because,
I think
uh,
Mai is a little bit above these. I don't think they, and also
but
that like Chanyota is not on the roster that much.
who are the
So
last champions though, Alex?
yeah, but Umasaki is kind of like on as many shows as they want, whereas Chanyota seems to be a bit more difficult to pin down.
Yeah, just a lot of bookings and whatnot.
Yeah, so I don't think they'll put
But
the
then again, it might
belts
just
on
be
her.
because Stardom forgets that they booked her.
That's true.
Because that happens
Well, she
apparently.
does MMA, doesn't she? I feel like she has to take time off to train for
I
that
mean,
every few
she does
months.
bodybuilding, she does MMA, she does the thing that I'm not gonna.
Jav.
Yeah, she does the AV stuff. And she does pro wrestling with PPP. She works at the bar, at the muscle bar in Tokyo.
Mm,
Like she is a busy woman. uh, and that's beyond her. I think she says she works out like 3 times a day. Um,
that's insane.
so it's like, yeah, I like
How
she's
does
a
that work?
harder. No clue. Maybe it
Like,
was 2 times, but it's extensive two
even
times. I just remember
still, I like. Do your muscles not like die?
she's psychotic. Yeah,
That's true, actually. Yeah, that's fair.
but yeah, so she's a freak.
Mhm.
So
Peak in nature,
you know
for sure.
she's hard to book in that sense, but yeah, I I just hope Wingori keeps it because, like I said, I just hope that they can get a defense, and this could be it. If my Sakurai really shows up and Shanyota and Saya have the chemistry that everybody thinks they do, and that I believe they do, I really hope that Saya and Hanan get a matchup that really can like show how great this reign could be. Um, because I think it like that trio, that triangle tag match was phenomenal. And like that is what I feel like they're going for in these matches. Uh I just hope they can kind of like convey that in one of these matches because I don't think this match really did that for them.
That's fair. That's fair. But you know what? For every miss, there will be a hit, like the three-way
Yes.
tag match where they
Yes.
won the belts, which was fantastic. But that was New Blood. Interested in the next show because I imagine we'll have the rookie tournament winner challenging Rena, and we'll also have that tag title match. We also have the looming Waka and mystery person challenge if Waka comes back anytime soon. Although her injury didn't sound very nice, so I don't know about that. Um, there's one show to preview, and I'd imagine this is why most people are here. You've probably fast forwarded to this point and missed all of the amazing Ranna Yagami takes. But it is Stardom Dream Queendom in Sumo Hall, big year end event to close out 2023 and presumably set us right back on course for Yokohama Buntai. So, this show is selling quite well. I know we don't do ticket estimates all that much, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different sections available, and there's like 7 of those sold out. So, and the women's only seats are sold out. The young adult seats are sold out. The next time you see somebody say, "Hey, Stardom only like has weird old men in the crowd," tell them they're wrong because the women's seats always sell out for pay-per-views, like literally every time. And so do the young adult seats. So, and you have to be under 25 to get one of those. So, there are enough young people to sell those out. That's all I'm saying. Um, Card then for this show, it starts with I don't know if this is a pre-show match or if this is on the card. It doesn't say pre-show, so I'm gonna assume it is on the card.
I mean, the thing with the pre-show is that it's like they put it up, like it's on the pay-per-view regardless.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Usually,
count. It doesn't count. We never
or it's just
really.
like 20 minutes early.
Yeah, we never count it.
Well,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think it
watch this one.
said is a pre-show in the thing. They usually say on the time.
Yeah, no, it
Right.
doesn't
Yeah,
say
they just said the
time.
show starts at 5. So I don't think there is a pre-show. So we have Miyu Amasaki, Azusa Inaba, who is apparently in God's Eye, according to the website.
No, she's
That's news
not.
to me. That's what it says on the website. Azusa Inaba God's Eye. And
That's
Yuzuki.
crazy.
And they take
Just by
on
association.
Hanako. Yeah, maybe, I guess. They take on Hanako, Rana Yagami, and Sayaka Kurara.
You
So
know
I'm
what's
going.
interesting is
Yes.
um Hanako isn't counted as a trainee.
Oh, yeah, she's just blank. Hmm.
She's not a newcomer. Um, she's just unaffiliated.
That's interesting, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, this is
moving
what I
on
was
up in the
excited
world.
for. This is what I was excited for is Azusa versus Rana. Give it to me,
Hmm.
please.
Hmm.
Give me all of
Good.
it. It will be so good.
Yeah. And Yuzuki and Hanako as well, if they got paired off, might
Hmm.
might might go crazy. Yeah, this could be like stellar.
This could
This
be a
could be
really
one of
good
those.
sprint. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those matches that makes you go, "That was cool. I want to watch that again." Um, so yeah, I would imagine the team that wins though is the one with Miyu. She's been appointed like the leader of this rookie generation.
Yeah.
Azusa Inaba is also kind of relatively
She's a
protected.
challenge. She's a title challenger in other companies, so I think she's more
Yeah,
protected than
she's
people
treated
who have
better than your
debuted yesterday.
general rookie who is 9 months in. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I would expect the team with Azusa and Kevin kind of walks away with the win here.
Yeah, because I don't think they give away another Hanako, like a Hanako versus over Yuzuki fall directly
Mm,
here. And that's the only way that that team would win, right? So,
that's fair. All right. We then have a four-way tag match. We have Mai Sakurai and Tekla of Donna Del Mondo taking on Lady C and Hina of Queen's Quest versus Saki Kashima and Ami Sourei of God's Eye versus Saki and Yuna Mizumori of Cosmic Angels. So, all caps Saki is back for the first time since the Derby. What is that the last
no,
time we
the
saw her?
Cinderella final, Cinderella final,
Oh,
the
is that
break
not
of
also the Derby?
Cosmic Angels, the
Oh
break of
shit!
Cosmic
Yeah,
Angels,
yeah, I remember actually. Yeah, because Anno showed up then, and we were like,
yeah.
"Holy shit!" All
And that
right,
was the
yeah,
last time we saw Saki.
yeah, that's crazy.
She's like, damn, this group is in ruin. I'ma leave.
Yeah. Tekla and Mai have won a fair few matches recently, so maybe they get the win here.
I mean, it's
I
either
don't know.
them or I don't know. Yeah, it could be
Doesn't matter.
anybody.
That's the
Yeah.
problem here. It doesn't matter. We have a special six-person tag match. Nanai Takahashi, Yu, and Azumi take on Suri, Mina Shirakawa, and Mei Sarah.
I was
So
thinking about it the other day. It's kind of weird that May and Azumi aren't swapped.
yeah, but I think
Because
Azumi
May
was
is,
like talking about Nanai
yeah,
and was like, "Hey, let's have a match. Let's team. Let's do stuff."
yeah. No, it is like a, but you know what I mean. Where it's like it's kind of funny that like the May Sarah and Nanai thing was like a has been a thing,
Yeah,
that's kind of
definitely.
established, and there's like yeah, whatever. Um, I guess May Sarah can kind of tag with anybody because she's unaffiliated, and
Yeah.
Azumi tagging with Shuri and Mina would be kind of a novel thing more
Mhm.
than anything. Even though this is a novel match regardless. Yeah, I have no idea who the fuck wins this, if I'm being
Yeah,
real.
I mean, I know 7 Up got one over on God's Eye, so I don't know if Siri beats one of them ahead of the Mayu
Oh shit,
match,
yeah, Shuri probably over Azumi.
maybe. Or you do an Azumi May fall, because I assume they do that eventually, May versus Azumi. and maybe
Yeah,
you don't start it now, but you have one of them pin the other just to be like, "Hey, I'm still here."
as we always say with high speed stuff, you could pretty much toss it up between those two, like because
Yeah,
it's always an upset. High speed matches always end in technical upsets, even though they aren't, because that's like what they wrestle on. So it doesn't really
yeah,
make sense. But so really, Azumi could pin May, or May could pin Azumi, and I don't think it would be that big of a
very true,
thing.
very true.
But
The only
I'm excited
thing
for this
we can
match.
guarantee, the only guarantee in this life, Lady Shirakawa will not be involved in the fall because she is as
S-
invisible as Hazuki, and it is so sad. I am so upset. Um, yeah, that should be a good match though. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a weird match, but I feel like there's enough great wrestlers there for it to work either way. You know?
and there'll be some cool matchups I think in it.
Yeah,
You know,
possibly,
I think
possibly.
Shuri and you could be kind of fun. Shuri against May. May's a great underdog against the bigger wrestlers, so I think her and
I mean,
you
if they
could
do
have a lot
Mei
of
and
fun.
Nanai as like the base part of the
Yeah,
match, I think that could work. Or you do Suri Azumi. Um, yeah, there's a lot of ways this could work. We then have Mayu Iwatani's return match. We finally have the icon back in Stardom. It's Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, Hanan, and Sayaida versus Starlight Kid, Rocka, Rina, and Fukigen Death. And I would imagine that Mayu gets the win in her comeback match.
yeah, probably. Um,
Right.
yeah,
For Kid or not? Because this is a weak way to tie team. I feel like having Kid lose would be pointless.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how much they. Mike could just pin Ruaka ultimately. Actually,
Yeah. Or Fukigen. Yeah. Fukigen
Fukigen
is.
hasn't taken a fall in like a long time. I don't think
Yeah, but
people
that's,
recognize
that's what
this.
the icon of Stardom is for.
Or I think she did just take a fall yesterday, uh,
Really? Wow.
at the Korakuen show. So 2 days ago, Saya pinned her.
Oh yeah, but that's an elimination match. You can kind of get away with those. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
But I
I don't
mean,
know.
Stars definitely should win. Obviously.
Yeah,
Just-
and I mean they have the more stacked team. I mean, Hanan is more pushed than basically all four of Away tie right now.
Yeah.
Hazuki obviously is protected. She's not involved in any of the finishes, and Mayu is the IWGP Women's Champion. So
Yeah. The only
that's
issue is that Ida's kryptonite is a Oedo Tai,
that's
but
true. But
neither of her two like real, you know, people who really fuck her up are in
mhm,
this match. So it doesn't really.
there's no Momo here to
Yeah.
beat her up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, Speaking of Momo, she is in our next match, the Goddess of Stardom Championships. Aphrodite, the team of Utami Hayashishita and Sayaka Mitani, defend against Natsuko Tora and Momo Watanabe, also
For
known
me,
as
this is like
XL.
this is one of the more intriguing matches because I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
I think they did a
it,
good job of like planting those doubts with the promos and with the kind of back and forth finishes. Especially
like
that
everything,
preview tag
everything
finish.
surrounding, like, you know how, and this I'm sorry to bring up fucking AEW, but you know how Jay White did every single trope of a losing wrestler in a title match.
Mhm.
There's like 10 tropes that you can do that indicates that you're going to lose a title match at the big show, and he did all of them. I feel like Aphrodite has done like 4 or 5 of them already,
Mm.
and that's a lot relatively for a V1. That's a lot, you know. Um,
They've
so I
also
don't know.
been talking a lot about like breaking the Thunder Rock defense record, which usually indicates you're either gonna get there or you're losing in like a month. Like
Yeah, either you're
like
gonna get there or
wrestlers
you're
hype
going to
that shit a lot.
completely fail. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Th- I,
Um,
I mean, Oedo Tai would be the ones because Tora loves to terrorize Utami. Momo obviously has been getting one over on Queen's Quest for the last 2 years. If there was anybody who would sneak the belts away from Aphrodite, it would be these two.
yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of intrigue here. And yeah, the preview tag definitely did a good job of kind of getting that doubt because Saya over Momo is very definitive, whereas Momo beat Azumi, whereas Saya beat Momo. So
But
you're like, do they do that again?
Momo did beat Saya a week or two ago, like
Yeah,
pretty
but
recently.
not
She
not
pinned
not
her.
not a Karkin. A
Yeah,
Karkin.
but she didn't pin. Nobody pinned Momo.
Karkin's the big one. Yeah, but still,
almost
it was a
pin
it was
Saya.
the preview tag.
I know.
So I don't know.
It's and also, as I've said before, is that Utami was like, "Oh yeah, this is the end of our feud with them. We're done with them after
Mhm.
this." And it's like you don't really. It's the Cody Rhodes thing, right? This is a never-ending story. You don't finish the story. That's not how this
Yeah.
works. Um, so I'm very fearful that my homegirls are dropping the belts V0. Um, yeah, I don't know.
I
This
could
is
see.
this
I
is the
mean,
biggest toss-up.
do we still expect Saya to challenge in April? Because that, the
Not really.
V0. Really?
I
Interesting.
don't. I don't
Interesting.
think so.
I feel like that's what they do.
Honestly,
'Cause,
I think they might just run back Maika.
Suzu Maika again?
Yeah,
Oh, so you're saying Suzu wins later? You know what? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. But yeah,
but
I,
I think it would be smart of them to keep Aphrodite in the tag scene
yeah,
long term. Maybe not
yeah.
long term, but just for the next handful of months so that they have something to do. Because I don't think Saya gets that match at the big show. I also don't think
Mm.
Utami's getting that match at the big show. I think that they can kind of just use to. And I've always wanted a big Aphrodite tag run. You know what I mean? Like a run that like really was definitive because I think their first one was very much the case of like, oh well, we don't have tag champions, so here until Tommy's ready to like be the world champion, we'll just give this to you guys for a couple months and then y'all drop it. And it was just kind of like a, you know, and it was still a great run. So I think that they have a great run in them. So I'd love it if they kept it and had more defenses than they probably will because they don't like having wrestlers defend belts apparently.
Well, the tag belts got a fair few runs out, so I don't know. But yeah, I could see it going either way. I don't really mind either. I think XL are good. Aphrodite are obviously very good. Um, and they've already got the thing of like pinning Megan Bain, so even if they lost V0, I don't think it would be that big of a tragedy. So yeah, I'm kind of very stumped by that one. So fair play
Yeah,
to Stardom there
as am I.
for kind of sowing that doubt in. They've also got a lot of doubt here for the Strong Women's Championship match. It is Julia defending against Megan Bain. I was pretty confident Bain was gonna take the belt. Um, but her beating Julia a few days ago. Are you gonna have her beat Julia back to back? Um,
I think Julia wins here, defends against Trish at the
Battle in the Valley, because she's still, yeah,
yeah
she is still
in the valley.
advertised for Battle in the Valley.
And
So
then she probably drops it maybe at the Takadana Baba show to somebody,
mm, maybe.
unless that's the same day as Battle in the Valley. I don't know when Battle in the Valley is, honestly.
It's
Um,
so difficult to know what the story is with this belt because Julia might leave, but also the woman that was meant to beat her for it is also possibly ending up in the same place. So, um, you know, like the Julia Monet match is obviously not. It's likely never happening at this point unless it happens on
yeah,
SmackDown. Um, so yeah, I don't
the
really
dire
know.
reality.
Yeah, it's not fun, but that's where we're at. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think they did a good job here with Megan beating Julia, and now I'm kind of like, does Megan just beat her twice? Is Julia on the put people over tour before she leaves? I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards her retaining because she is still on Battle in the Valley.
Hmm.
Um, so you can do her and Trish Adora there. Maybe they just forgot Trish ever challenged, and they do something else because they do have the CMLL talent on there now, and could do Julia versus one of those, I guess, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think Julia probably retains here and drops it within the next 2 months,
Yeah,
unless they're
if
like unless they're unifying it with the IWGP Women's at some point.
they could. I don't see why
Then
they
they probably
wouldn't.
hold it off until the big show.
Yeah, it's a
Paul White,
Buntai
you know.
match.
Yeah.
Buntai Julia or Julia Mayu. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd
okay.
probably be
Yeah,
Julia Maya.
I see. Interesting. Interesting. Well, I'll have to wait and see there. But yeah, I would expect Julia becomes just the
Because Maya
third
has kind of
person
been
to get
like
one over on Bane.
Maya's been bringing up the strong belt semi frequently, where it's like, oh well, I don't understand why that belt gets to be defended so much more than mine. Like it's Why is that the one always kind of booked?
Yeah, they
To,
did.
you
They
know,
did both kind of have a go at each other over their belts recently. And also again with Mercedes Moné, very, 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 very likely going back to WWE. You don't need a strong women's championship because the strong
yeah.
women's belt was made for her. I don't think that's a controversial opinion there.
The
They
last belt that Mayu can win,
Yeah,
also,
that too. I
she's
mean,
won every other belt. Well, yeah,
Mayu's got to do the movie tour. You
yeah.
gotta put Mayu over strong ahead of that movie tour. So yeah, I don't could see
Put
it.
her
So
over
yeah,
strong.
that's a good one. That's a good one. So yeah, I would just expect Julia to retain here, and yeah, just giving another loss to Megan Bayne, who is sticking around still, I guess. So fair play.
TK don't want her back. Like, what are
He's
we doing
he's
here, y'all?
he's happy booking the
He
Abaddon.
loves, yeah. Oh,
I like the Abaddon. I won't lie
I
to
know
you.
you do.
Abaddon and Julia Hart is like my like guilty pleasure. I don't tend to have guilty pleasures. I don't think that's it's a thing. I don't think you should feel guilty about enjoying
You
things.
should.
But Abaddon and Julia Hart, I'm into it. I'm so into it. I don't know why, but I'm into it. So yeah, it's my most anticipated match from World's
In that
End.
case, did you see Thunder Rosa come back? Did you see that match?
Didn't
You
see
watch
the
that?
match. I read a review that said it was really basic, and I was like, I don't need
Not
to see a
really.
basic women's tag match. They're not great. Women's tag matches in America are always so boring because they just do the
Yeah.
most basic, bland stuff, and I'm like, you guys could probably do better here. So yeah, I read that review and it put me off, but I don't know. I might go
Valid.
back to it eventually. So I don't know. Next match then is Mirai defending the Wonder of Stardom Championship against Sayori Ano. Um, to a degree, there's unpredictability here in that
Mm,
there's no sense of what's going on in the white belt picture, and so Ano could simply win, you know.
mhm.
But it's not a oh like if either of these wins, it's great. It's kind of just I don't know. One of them could win. And so I'm kind of leaning towards Mirai because that would make the records even. Because Ano beat Mirai,
Mhm.
then they drew.
Mhm.
So precedent dictates Mirai beats Ano.
Yeah. Um. I don't know. Like, it feels like it's funny because Mirai was like, "Oh, if you didn't like her, then fuck you. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to deal with it regardless," kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um. And now it feels like she has a belt. She has the second most important belt in the company, and somehow it's like, I don't really care about her either. Like, from the booking perspective, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just
Mhm.
like, she felt way more protected before she won the belt, and way more like elevated. It's very strange, and I don't think it's her fault necessarily. It's a strange predicament to be in, I guess. Um, I think Mariah probably wins it,
Mhm.
uh, and I don't know. Like, Anna winning it only works if Poi is next.
Yeah, but well, Ano only winning works if she is like moving up. You know, I feel like that's the only reason you'd give
Well,
it to
she'd
her
be
is if
transitional regardless.
yes, I feel like she'd have to. It would have to be when she like takes ownership of something. Because
What
obviously,
do you mean?
like you'd have to sign her, and then she would have to get a faction or kick Tam out. You
I
know,
don't think that's necessary.
that's kind of
I
how
think
that's how
I
they
think
would do it.
that kind of pigeonholes you with the belts then. Like, Mirai isn't the number 1 in
Well,
her
yeah,
faction.
but like Ano specifically, you want her first title win to be like leveling up. You know what I mean? Like Sayori Ano only wins a belt in your company if you are going all in on Sayori Ano. So you'd
I don't
have
think
to
I
sign
agree.
her. I don't know. I don't. Maybe you just don't see Ano in the same tier I do. But I'm like,
I
I'm
mean,
putting.
I see her like right now I see her in a outsider tier. Like ultimately.
Well,
Like,
that's
I
what I
don't think
mean.
that there's
Is if you're giving her the white belt, it's a very important belt. You have to sign her. You have to go all in on Ano.
well, they aren't
That's
signing her.
well, not yet anyway. But so that's yeah. Like she's not winning. Case.
She's probably not winning. Yeah.
Maybe not.
Uh,
So
I mean, and the issue with Stardom is that so much of like precedent is different era boom boom type of thing, where it's like, you can't really go back to a Santana Garrett, right? She was a Wonder Stardom champion. Um, you can't really go back to that because that's such a different time that like the belt has changed and is in a different state than it was at that point. Um, but I could see Ano being a transitional champion,
mm,
100%. Uh, and using it to elevate her to some point, maybe not to her being in her own faction, but her maybe leaving Cosmic Angels, or maybe just like I don't know. I think Mirai wins because of how messy it would be with an Ano win, personally. But if Ano does win, I think it'd be cool. I don't think she necessarily has to like become the top star. I don't know if the white belt is the top title anymore, like that it used to be.
it it
Um,
firmly depends on who has it, and if it's Soriano, yes, that is simple as that. Um,
hmm,
I don't know. She's kind of in a weird spot at the moment, but yeah, I think Mariah wins just because that would level out the records, and that's just the easiest thing to do. Um, and they're on to the main event, which is one of the most interesting matches Stardom's had in a long time. It is for the red belt, the World of Stardom Championship. It's Maika versus Suzu Suzuki. So probably the hottest match they've had since Shuri Julia, about a year exactly. Probably the hottest match since then.
yeah,
Maybe
I mean,
Saya,
well,
maybe Saya Mina. That was red hot. People were really
yeah,
into
it,
that.
it, it depends on how you feel about the big show in April, right? Like I didn't care for the stories going into that, but also like
I don't
you
think
know
Tam Julia was hot for that though. They were running back the GP final, so I don't know if it was super
they're
hot.
running back their 7-0 matches.
That's yeah, that's true. um, yeah, I don't
This is
know. I
like the
think
big finale.
this is just like a really red hot match. Like the crowd is very into Micah. They're very into her ascent. They really want her to be the champion. Obviously, Suzu is somebody who's been presented as kind of a star since the day she jumped. It's always been, hey, this is Suzu. Like, look at Suzu. She's great.
Yeah,
So
I mean, Suzu's probably been the best Stardom wrestler this year, if I'm being
yeah.
honest. In terms of just like I don't know, presence. Like she's just
Mhm.
been it. Um, every tournament she's entered, she's gotten to the finals of. This year, uh,
Yeah.
like it, the only tournament in Stardom history that she's been in that she didn't get to the finals of, she was the runner-up of her block, right? Like, I feel like this is Suzu's crowning, right? And I brought it up earlier that I think they're going to try to run a Julia Tam with this. Um,
Mm. Well, the thing
in
is
that
though,
it's they're gonna
Julia
run
got
it
one
long.
over. Like Julia got it over on Tam the first time. So is
Well,
Micah the Tam?
Suzu's no, Suzu's the Julia. Or yeah, Micah's a Tam, yeah.
Micah's Tam. Okay,
Micah is Tam.
I
Because
can I can get on board. Yeah.
but the thing is that Micah can't win enough. Because I think Micah's because Tam got that GP win, the token win, right? Before she ever like that was the only time she ever beat Julia before she ended up like beating her. Um, I think that was the tag league win over May Sarah.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I think that was like uh the idea that it's like, oh well, she can win matches like, that feature Suzu. Like this isn't impossible for her. Which all this is planning out to mean that I think Maiko beats Suzu either year from now, which I don't really like the idea of them running it back to back year for year. Personally, I'm not really a big fan of that. Or at the Buntime show.
Mm.
Because if you remember, Tam lost to Julia at the
Yep.
Yokohama Cinderella show, and then she won 6 months later at the big April show. March, April, spring.
Tam lost the GP final and then beat um Julia.
Well, I'm talking about years ago.
Hmm.
I'm talking about the
Tam
first
Tam
run around.
won. Tam won the big match.
No, okay, so what happened was they had their first match in the
The
summer,
tournament.
and Julia beat her in a
Yes.
oh my god, I'm looking 30 minutes. That shit went 30 minutes.
Yeah, I
That was a
remember.
time, bro. And then
2020.
Tam beat her in the GP block, right?
Yes.
That was Tam's token win.
Mhm.
Then she lost to her immediately after year end,
Remember
basically.
that?
It was,
Around the time
and
of the
then
Konami Julia challenge.
yeah,
I remember that.
and then months later they did the hair versus hair, and Tam
Mhm.
finally beat her, and that was in the springtime show.
Mm.
So I think they kind of run that. The issue is that Suzu was meant to have the belt longer. Um,
By a month.
by a month, which is, long enough to where like Julia had the belt from uh, you know, July until March. Suzu would have the belt from December until March, which is rough. But
Yeah,
I think
April just feels too soon. April just feels way too quick. But also, you're completely ruling out a Maika win. I'm
I
I'm
don't
not
I don't
I'm
know
not
if
ruling
Micah
out a
wins
Maika win
this.
because they've been very heavy-handed with Suzu kind of being the aggressor, calling her a loser, talking past her in interviews. Whereas Micah's got a lot of the talking time recently. They've released like 4 different Micah interviews recently. They've really given her a chance to tell her side of things.
But
It's
Alex, if you
almost
remember,
like
it's the
they,
same thing that they did with Julie and Tam,
yeah, I guess.
and
I don't
Tam
know. I
still
just
lost.
they've really got me interested because I feel like they've made it seem like Micah overcoming Suzu is something that they're not opposed to. Um,
But do they do it now?
this I don't know. Some people
That's
might
my
say you
question.
have to, because I
Ultimately,
saw the take that if Micah loses the GP final, loses the tag belts, loses the preview tag, then loses the red belt match, they're almost too far gone.
I don't know. I was talking with Peps about it yesterday that
I would
he.
never. I would not
I
listen to
agree. I agree. No, I agree. But
he is very biased here.
yes, but I to some degree agree with him that like ultimately you're never too far gone in wrestling.
That's true. That's true.
Uh, because
But
like
I feel like there's a line. I think there's a line, and there's
there's
only
a
so
line of
much.
believability.
Yes.
But
And there's only
I
so
but
much, and Mike has been like Sue's been calling her a loser for like 2 months now. So calling her a
I think the
loser,
struggle is Micah has nothing after this. That's why
I
you
don't
have to
know.
do
I
it
feel
soon.
Mike could do most of the same
No,
stuff.
I mean if she
It's-
loses. I mean if she
Oh
loses.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, this is like I'm arguing against myself almost here. Is that it's like if Micah loses, she has to win in April because she has no like if she has to wait longer than that, she has nothing to do. She will lose her heat. Like she will lose
Mhm.
her, like maybe not like to like some extreme degree, that's like oh like she's completely unviable. I'm not saying that, but she will lose her momentum if she doesn't win it in April. If she doesn't win in here and she doesn't win in April, I mean.
Well, I think it depends. I feel like you can really get people behind her and do the longer play, but that's really risky. Like
Yeah.
people will say Naito, and I get it, but Naito was I don't know how Naito stayed so popular for
I
those 2
also think
years.
that New Japan is slower than Stardom. I think the comparison doesn't work as well
That's
because
true, yeah, the world of
like
Joshi moves quick.
think
Um,
about the most legendary title reigns in Stardom. They were all around a year. You know what I
mm.
mean? Like Okada held his for like a year and a
Well,
half.
I do think we've seen Rossi do the longer ones, but it was a long time ago. I mean, Aja
Yeah.
took 1,000 days to
Yeah.
overcome Bull, but that was Aja and Bull, like 2 of the best of all time. No offense to Maika and Suzu, I don't think they're the 2 of the best of all time. So, uh, yeah. I don't know though. I feel like you can have Maika lose, and when she does win, if she does win, if they're smart, I would, belt her up down the line. Um, it would probably make it a bit better. The defeat here, like again the Naito thing with Okada, like you tasted that defeat, and then he came back 2 years later and got the win, and it was a bigger deal because of it. But you do risk also just burning people out and them kind of going, okay, well, Mike is not the one. So
I also think similar again, kind of if we're looking at it in the same vein as the Tam Julia thing, I think one way to kind of preserve Micah is her getting her own faction. Um, if she loses, I mean.
yeah,
Uh,
but then that's difficult as well because you have to then assemble a faction around her and
yeah,
protect
and
her
DDM
and
is
give her
pretty
stuff to
much
do.
dead. You
Yeah,
know,
that's difficult.
DDM
It's
doesn't exist
difficult.
anymore at that point.
I would be
Um,
for it, but it's difficult. The other thing though that kind of interests me is if Suzu wins, she's without a faction. When was the last time Stardom had a factionless red belt champ? Was it? Was it Miko?
uh, I'm looking real quick. Uh,
'Cause I
Tony,
feel like every
Tony,
oh
Tony.
Tony. Well, Tony was technically in Stars, was she not?
No, she wasn't in a
She
faction.
was she was free. Okay, and Tony was
To be fair,
2017.
there were no real factions until Tony won the belt,
Right,
and
that's fair.
Tony was not around for her title reign.
That's fair. So yeah, you're talking about like a very rare occurrence here. So
Yes,
if Suzu won, she'd almost have to establish a faction straight away.
before Tony, it was Mako.
Yeah, so Suzu would either have to join a faction or set one up as well. So either way, I think there's a big faction movement after this. Um, yeah, I'm very up in the air because I feel like Maika might be too hot to say no to. But
You know
also
what
like
the issue is also is that Suzu gave it her all in the 5-star final.
mm,
You can't just repeat that. You know, that's the old All Japan uh pro wrestling, the male company. That's the old All Japan adage is that it's like every match you have, because you're going to have the same match with the same person a lot of times. Every match you have has to compound on itself. You
mm,
know, it can't be the same. Um, I don't know if Suzu has more than the Stardust Press right now, and I don't think she should. You know what I mean? Like and I also
that
don't think that
depends on
Micah
how.
should just lose again to the Stardust Press in the same exact way that she
Well,
lost last time.
guess I don't know though. I feel like that's how they do it. They have like the special finisher that people will do. You know, like Julia with the crazy Northern Lights
Yeah,
bomb
but she didn't
thingy.
beat Shuri 2 months in a row with that move.
That's true, actually. That's true.
And
Yeah.
Suzu can't just back down to the locomotive Germans. You know what I mean? She's like, okay, I don't need all that for this match.
Mm.
But you gotta make it different. I feel like it's hard for them because they've had to run this match so many times so recently. Um, I think there's so many moving parts within it.
Yeah.
Because Micah never hit her with the Michinoku. I
Yeah.
don't think. You know, like that's the move.
Hmm.
That should be the finish of this match. Is Micah over with the Michinoku? Just in terms of you know, ABC storytelling. Uh, if they want to stretch it out a little bit longer, they might take it to April, or again, they
I
might
feel
take
like
it.
April is too soon. I think doing Suzu's first reign and it ending in 4 months is a
But
waste.
I think that's the thing is that I think she'll have multiple reigns, like separate.
Probably, but you only get one first reign.
There's only
And
been one
especially
two-time
especially with the
world champion.
iffy, like, replacement vibe she has, you know?
Yeah,
You could say the GP win and the world title win is enough, but I don't know. Not sure. Because her winning and then losing to somebody more popular in 4 months' time feels like Roman Reigns to a T. Like, that is Roman, babyface Roman. Um, also, I feel like if you do go with Suzu, you have to go all in on her just being a heelish prick, and she should have a long-ish run. Um, so I don't know. Either way, not opposed to either scenario. I do worry that if the crowd is super into Micah, they won't react properly if Suzu wins. But
I do
that's
think
not like a
I
huge
do think
deal.
there's something to Suzu kind of starting this reign of terror, right? Like
Mhm.
not terror. I think Suzu's tremendous, but like this reign of like I've
It's a
done it,
meta. It's a
you know?
meta thing. It's a meta thing.
Yeah.
Like the reign of terror meta wise of you didn't want me to win. Screw you. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like she beats Micah and then, this is again, we're kind of dipping into fantasy booking, but she could take over DDM like forcefully. like stuff like that, where it's like
All right,
she's not
slow the
just
roll
like
here. Slow the roll here, cowboy. The the one thing as well is I feel like Suzu has a lot set up as red belt champ.
yes,
You'd have to do Siri again, of Julia, of Tam, of
Saya.
Saya. That's 4 pretty big matches already lined up for her. Maika can do some of those. She can't do Suri as much, but she can do
She could
Julia
do
pretty
Shuri.
easily.
She could do Shuri way more easier than Suzu
Mm,
can.
I don't know.
They were
She
a
can do
tag team.
like Tam can work with either one. Saya obviously works with Maika. They've been feuding since they both, walked into the company.
Mhm.
Maika Utami as well is an easier one to
That's
do
the
than
huge one.
Suzu Utami.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, that's kind of my point is invalid. They both have a lot to do as red belt champs. So
It's a
I don't
very
know.
even match.
It is. It is. This is genuinely one of the most interesting matches they've had in a long time because either one could win, could fall apart, it could be great, and I don't think I'll be unhappy either way. Um, just really want Micah to win. that's
This is
my
the
that's my point. I want Micah to win. This feels
this is
like
the
her time.
fourth this is the fourth year-end red belt match we've previewed.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know if I've ever been this like
Suryu Utami was very up in the air.
no,
I
that
feel
was
like we
Shuri
were
all the way.
very. It was not Suryu all the way. I argued about that to the death with you because I thought it was Utami's long run, and yeah, she it was not. So,
I mean, she already held it for 400 days. How much longer did you want it to be?
oh, I thought she was going like 700. Like fully
No, I
thought she
believe
was
it.
going EO territory.
Little do we know it was, that was Roman. Well, that's what he was doing
Mm,
at the same time. Um, this is the hardest because I
yeah.
have no idea. Like, I think it's Suzu,
Mhm.
but I also kind of wonder, what about Micah at that point with Suzu? And this has been kind of the the sentence everybody's been saying is that it's probably Suzu, but if she doesn't lose or if she doesn't win, that's fine because she has a million other things she could be doing right now. Micah, this feels like her arc, right? Like this is
Yeah.
hers.
Well, since the Himeka's retirement, you could almost argue there's been a thing with Micah. She's kind of
Mhm.
called back to it a lot of like I lost my wrestling soulmate, and then I had this thing with Suzu, and then she beats me in the GP final. I lost my confidence. I had a crisis, and then Megan helped me back. And Megan and I lost the belts straight away, and I'm just this loser. That's so easy to then turn around into this big euphoric title win.
Yeah, and that's like I compare it to this, and it's a funny comparison, like when you think about it a little bit harder. But I compared it to Randy Orton's theme song, right? Where it's like I feel like Suzu is just like this like fire that will not go out. And Micah is just like burning at all times.
Mhm.
And she just keeps trying, but she just can't help but be overshadowed by Suzu because Suzu is the next best thing effectively. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I just wonder if not now, I don't know when. And if not April, I don't know when. If not now for Micah, I don't know when. And again, like this isn't me talking about like, oh, she'll become uh unviable for the belt necessarily because you could book her into being viable for the belt at any time. Like that's just how wrestling works. But it is a certain like there's just something to it. Like I don't know if how you don't give her the belt within the next year, given where we're at with her.
Gosh.
You all right? Goddamn.
Yeah. Gosh. Um, I don't know. I don't fully agree that it's now or never. It could be, but the thing with wrestling is you don't know until you've done it. If it was that easy to know how people are going to react to what happens, this would be the easiest industry in the world, right? Like this. Sorry, I am in a coughing fit now. Like
My
this.
homie's
This.
dying.
Yeah. This could equally be the moment people give up on her, or it could be the moment where people say, "We will support her until she wins this belt." you don't know that until the decision is made.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm always in favor of if somebody's as hot as Maika is, and again, like to go back to the cork and chanting her name. That I haven't heard that for a Stardom wrestler in a long time. You capitalize on that. That's always my go-to. Is if the people want it, you give it to them. Um, but equally, taking it down the road could make it a more satisfactory victory if she does get the belt in the end. But it could, again, it could also be just what makes people give up on her to a degree. So I think it's risky. I think the safest bet is Maika winning, whereas the riskier one is Suzu winning.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I feel like we are in enough of a like interesting point in time that I think a Micah win is something that you kind of, even if it's not your plan. Like Micah isn't going to be the face of the company, obviously. Like that's not their plan. Um, but I think that she is popular enough, and I think she is strong enough as a wrestler, and I think she is overall like at a point in her career that she could be the world champion. Um, and I think that's something that some people don't really get if they haven't been watching uh, her performances over the past 6 months or so. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's ultimately a we'll see. Again, I feel like I'm interested in how the match goes because we've seen a Micah tries her hardest and still loses to Suzu's big move before, right?
Mhm.
We've seen that 2 months ago. It was great, but we've seen that before. Um, I do wonder if Suzu is the winner. I wonder how they do it to make it like, oh well, Micah had a little bit more fight this time in it, but like maybe she has to hit two. Like I don't know. Like it. Like
Well,
obviously this
I
is like
think
getting
I
into
think she can
semantics.
lose to the Stardust press pretty easily. Like that is a super move that you can establish, and then if she kicks out of it the next time, and you know that's the big thing. So I think you could lose to the super move again. I think that would be too bad.
I don't think it would be too bad, but I wonder. And I look at wrestling very analytically, very in like down to the detail, as everybody can tell. Um, and I wonder like what does that like? And I guess it's just a further point of Micah feeling like a loser and Micah being a loser if she just loses in the exact same to the exact same move. Uh, a couple months later to the exact same person, right? I think that was kind of the thing they were doing with Julie. Julie just kept beating her with the Ganosuke clutch, right? Like, and she's just like, I just can't figure it the fuck out. Like, this sucks. Um, I don't know. I'm interested in this match, obviously, and I think Suzu wins. I just wonder how they work it ultimately. I would love a Micah win. Obviously, I'm a huge Micah fan, uh, but I just have a feeling that she's gonna keep burning in the light of Suzu Suzuki.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, look, we could talk in circles for next hour. Um, all I know is this is going to be a very big match. There's going to be
Yes.
a lot to talk about coming out of it next week. And for now, I'm so excited to see what happens because I'm going to be like stuck to the chair basically.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. And
Gonna be
also,
something.
one smaller thing is Taka Michinoku posted how two of his like trainees, or maybe not trainees, but two people that he cares about very highly are challenging for top belts in the same couple days,
Mm.
which is Hayato Tamura, I believe, in Glate, and Micah. So like there's just like small things like that where it's like Micah has her master, like rooting for her, taking a very specific interest in this match, and it's just like there's a lot surrounding it, a lot surrounding just Micah's history as a wrestler. She's talked about in interviews that's like she really grinded to get here, and it's been a very hard 4 years to go from somebody that Stardom fans wanted to get the fuck out because she wasn't a Stardom wrestler to being the most popular wrestler in Stardom, at the shows. So
Mm.
it's a huge thing, right? a Maika win here would be huge, and I really am hopeful for it. But like you said, we're not going to talk in circles about it. It's just there's a lot going into this match. If you want to look at it from a big picture point of view, it's like, oh, these are two wrestlers that have been fighting all year, and Maika is the loser, and she's trying to finally beat Suzu. She's never pinned Suzu before, and she just keeps losing in matches that involve Suzu outside of the one time. And this is like a big deal to her. If you look even more uh, intricately at it, there's like a million other things to it. There's a million additional things to it on both sides that makes it even more interesting. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, it's we gave it a lot of time because it deserves a lot of time. It's a big fucking match.
That is true, and it will get just as much, if not more, next week, I can imagine. But until then, you'll have to wait and join us next week when we review Dream Queendom and all of the goings on, and look ahead to the first week of 2024.
You
Where
know,
Stardom is not putting its A game forward, but who knows? Maybe they'll salvage it.
that that New Year Stars show, the Triangle Derby show, is going to happen before we record next week.
Oh, yeah,
It happens the night before if we
on
record on time.
Tuesday.
It happens that oh wait, yeah, that Wednesday is earlier in Japan. It happens on Wednesday,
Hmm.
and
Okay,
it'll be
we
live.
will. We'll have to have a look at that because yeah, that's an interesting one.
And yeah, we do not have time to go through it right now, guys.
No, Jesus,
Sorry.
no. This, yeah, we
Plus,
are.
I imagine some shit might go down at the big show, so I don't think we want to.
Mhm.
You never know how cars might change coming out of the second biggest show of the year.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we'll just leave it there for now, and we'll
Yep,
figure something out.
sounds good.
All right. Well, with that, it's time to close the show. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Joe.
Show.